And we are live. The Bucks are off to a hot start. Welcome everyone to the Warzone Sports Network YouTube channel. Where else we live at? Twitter and Twitch channels. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're going to be watching this entire Game 5, Atlanta versus the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm going to have a few guests join me. The live chat is free. If you're new to the stream or if you're tuning into the stream after the stream, please tap the subscription button and turn on the notification bell for future streams. I think that's enough for the intro. Let's get into the game. The Bucks are up 7-2 already, and we're going to have the scoreboard up. Don't worry. We're going to have the scoreboard up for a majority of this game. Fel K, first viewer in the stream. Fel K, make sure to smash that like button so we go up in this algorithm. Let me know who else is tuning in right now. I see some people coming in to the stream. Sorry, guys, we were a couple minutes late today, but we're here now, so nothing to worry about. The chat is indeed free if you guys want to go ahead and jump in there. There's no Patrons or anything like that. Fel K is in there all the time. Fel K, I know you probably were waiting for us to go live. Fel K, you got notifications on? You hopped in here pretty quick. The Bucks are taking off to start this game. We got to have a commercial break? That's what I'm talking about. You got to have those notifications on so you know when we go live. Records will be broken this game. Which records do you see being broken this game, Fel K? I'm interested. Let's get this Warzone HQ logo up in the corner. Oh, it doesn't really fit the background, huh? We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. Since we got a commercial break, I'll hit that funky music, and I'll be right back on the other side of the intro that we didn't get to hit because we were here, a little late. But get in the live chat and let me know where you are watching the game from. Fel K, you got to lead this live chat right now. It's going to be popping because of you.
Warning, warning, warning.
Let's get ready to rumble. Step into the war zone. 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 Step into the war zone.
Fel K is calling for a team scoring playoff record to be broken. He wants to see a 156-103 Atlanta win. Well, it has not started off that way for Atlanta so far. I don't know if they can score that many points, Fel K, without Trae Young. How many points is John Collins going to score if that's the score line? 50? Like, who's going to score all these points, Fel K? I want to hear from you who you think is going to be. Clint Capella going to drop a 35-point game. John Collins going to drop a 35-point game. Herder going to drop 25. That's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. Let's see. What's the most points scored in a playoff game? Most points scored in an NBA playoff game. I'm Googling it right now. If anyone just knows off the top of their head, throw it in the chat. The most points scored in a playoff game. Oh, nope, that's Russell Westbrook's single. It can't be Russell Westbrook. Most scored in an NBA game playoffs by team. 153-151 is the highest scoring ever. It happened in 1992. It was the Trailblazers versus the Phoenix Suns. The Trailblazers won 153-151. Group effort, that's what it's going to take. You're going to need 20 points from 3 or 4 players if they're going to reach that 150 mark. That's pretty insane. Are you saying that because Giannis is down, so the Bucks defense should be weakened a little bit softened? Yeah, I feel like to hit that 150 would have to go to OT, but 156-103, that's not an overtime game. Chris Middleton looking really good to start this game off. If anyone's wondering how he's looking, he's going to have to be the number 1 scoring option tonight. Drew Holiday also can't contribute. He hit a 3 already. Giannis is hyped about it. A trip to the finals is on the line in this series. It doesn't feel like it because it's HAWKS Bucks and we're used to seeing all these superstars in here. But this is for a trip to the finals. We cannot forget that. Bogdanovich passes to Lou Williams, goes back to Bogdanovich, who hits the three. Hawks needed that. Hawks needed that. Notifications don't work for me, so I just remember NBA game times. Wow. Thank you, Felke. That's very impressive. That you actually just remember to come and join. Why don't the notifications work? That sucks. But you're always here and waiting, Felke, so we appreciate you. You're the only one that's been in the chat so far. Brooke Lopez hits his first one at the line. I'm going to try and share the link out a little bit here on the side. If you guys want to help me out with sharing the link or retweeting and all the above, feel free to do so. It helps us out a ton. And the more people we can get in these live streams, the more fun it's going to be for all of us. Here we go. The Hawks bringing the ball up the floor now. Goes to Herder. Herder dribbling. He's got Brooke Lopez on him. Got a little bit of a speed mismatch here. Capella. Collins rims it. Collins is going to have a big game for the Hawks in this one. Middleton for three. Misses. Way to work down low and get the offensive rebound. Portis going and getting it. He's going to have to play a lot more minutes in this game. ESPN live scores. We did do ESPN one time, and we had some technical difficulties. We do not know if they were related at all. If the technical difficulties were completely random or not. But we're going to use this one for now. Maybe we'll try an ESPN live score again when we can set it up prior and have it perfect for you. Chris sucks at threes, mid-range, and speed. We'll see throughout the game. Tony Tucker's not here yet, so he's not here to defend his boy Chris Middleton. Right now, he's doing fine. He hit a three earlier in the game already, didn't he? Capella with the rebound and is fouled by PJ Tucker. Brooke Lopez got a nice bucket on the other side. They just showed the replay. Capella hits the first one, had to roll in. A little friendly roll into the bucket. Danny Green at best. Danny Green is a pretty good three-point shooter. He can only hit open corner threes. We'll see if Chris Middleton can hear you during this, Felke, and proves you wrong. Is Trae playing tonight? No, Trae is not playing tonight. Neither is Giannis. That makes this a battle between John Collins, Chris Middleton. Maybe Brooke Lopez, Drew Holiday is going to have to contribute. Herder is going to have to contribute for the Hawks. Capella is going to have to go to work down low for the Hawks. It's really a battle of which team wants it more because now they're kind of evenly matched, both down their number one option. And again, a trip to the finals is on the line still. Middleton with a nice move, but misses it. There you go, Felke. Proving you right, huh? Clint's going to get like 20 rebounds? Yeah, he might. Brooke Lopez is having a really good start to this game. We should have done a Brooke Lopez jersey giveaway. What do you guys think? Should we done a Brooke Lopez jersey giveaway? Would you guys want a Brooke Lopez jersey anyways? I did a Paul George one for the Clippers game, and there were people in the comment section like, I'm not entering this free giveaway because I don't even want a Paul George jersey. It's like, okay, I mean, that's fair. Bucks fans are hyped in the crowd outside. 20-7 run to open the game up. And the Hawks are looking like they're really struggling to put points up without Trae Young right now. Herter throws one up and bricks it. Middleton on the rebound, coming up the court. Spins, kicks out to Hall, who's wide open. Bricked it. Middleton gets the offensive rebound and puts it back in. What a start for the Milwaukee Bucks. Wow. Not playing any games. Up 22-7 here. Forces a timeout. Forces a timeout on the live stream. Middleton's hyped up. Portis is hyped up. The entire Bucks team is feeling the energy to start this game off. Up 22-7 with 6:02 left in the first quarter. Starting off this game hot on a run. You got to love it. You got to love it. I'm kind of rooting for the Bucks to go, but I want Giannis to get healthy if they're going to go to the finals and face the Suns. I don't want to see a Chris Middleton-led Bucks versus the Phoenix Suns. We got to see more than that. See if we get raided again tonight. Joe Morley and Tony Tucker got raided by another live streamer. We're going to build a following. We're going to build a following, and we're going to get that live streamer back. It was HTH or whatever, Hot Talk Hockey. We are going to get him back. But we're going to wait. We're going to wait until we got an army to send at him. If we really put a lot of effort into it, we could probably get everyone going at him at once, and they might notice. But I really want it to be effective. They came at us with about like 20 people. We want to come at them with like 100 people. It's 5 times what they sent to us to raid our live stream, which was pretty funny, by the way. So if you guys ever do see this over there, HTH, thank you. It was actually a pretty funny moment, a pretty good moment. A pure moment, live on the air. Something went down. Keeps things interesting. So one day we're going to get him back. Let's see. We got some live chats here. Let's go Bucks in 6 games. Well, this is a good start to game 5 for him. Really want to see Giannis stay on this trash team. I feel like if he was going to leave, he would have left before signing a big contract with an overrated coach. Yikes. Bucks fans come in soon as I talk trash about the Bucks. Exactly. You're going to start a fight. Tottery Mills. Let me know how to pronounce that if you're still here, Tottery. Said, let's go Bucks in 6, and then Felke completely shitted on the Bucks for the next 3 comments. Thank you, Felke, for that. On cue with it. And look who it is. Tony Tucker. And here we are.
I'm late to the party. I bet on the Bucks, so I'm feeling really great about this start. I only put down $10, but I feel great about the start. What is the spread? Go Ducks! All right, quack 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 quack, Mr. Ducksworth. I didn't bet the spread. I bet the money line just for them to win straight up. I believe they were -3 before the trade news. I would assume it probably dipped to about 4.5 or 5. If Trae had a good shot at playing tonight, or at least was trying to play tonight, I think we can count on him really putting an effort to get out there on game 6, especially if they're down 3-2. Yeah, but I don't think I can say the same for Giannis, man. That injury was scary, and he got very lucky, and you got to treat it very fragilely. We've seen what's happened late in the season like this when star players like him have pushed their limits on these with KD and others in the past. Bud isn't overrated. I don't think he's overrated at all. I think in fact he's kind of hated on. Yeah, Felke's already mad. Look, Felke, all Bud proved was that he was Giannis reliant and the Heat sucks. Well, Giannis reliant, he's got a 12-point lead, and they're killing it here in the first quarter without Giannis. Yeah, I think Felke's talking about the fact that the Heat lost the game to the Bucks last year with just Chris Middleton going for what was the numbers I gave you again, Felke, last night? 36, 8, and 8. He went for. So, but Drew Holiday's out here cooking early on, which is nice to see.
The front office said that he was going to be fired if he doesn't make the finals, and he is doing great. I mean, I think they're on the way to the finals unless Trae Young can come back in and be what he was earlier in the playoffs for Game 6 and 7. The Bucks, it's showing right now here in this first quarter that when the Bucks are on their game, they're a way better team than the Hawks, and that's why I actually took the Bucks in 5 games, even after losing Game 1. It didn't work out that way because of injuries and everything. We didn't really get to see that come to fruition, but I still would take the Bucks.
Yeah, my original pick for the series was Bucks in 5. But either way, I think if Giannis can just get back and healthy for the finals, either team that goes on, just be healthy because the Suns have health. I just want to see a healthy NBA Finals. I mean, I also want to see the Suns lose if there's any Suns. Yeah, I want to see a healthy NBA Finals. Is Felke in a grumpy mood? What's going on here?
He's just here to roast the Bucks just because you're rooting for him, maybe? I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I think you just want Atlanta to win. I'll be honest, I never liked the Bucks as a Toronto fan. See, it all adds up.
I see now.
Notched whip.
Which I don't know why. I mean, Toronto, if you really are a Raptors fan, they won a title. And that's probably not going to happen again in reality. I'm kind of curious about a Raptors fan. Who is the best Raptor, Felke?
That's a good question.
Who would you say, Mike? You got Vince Carter, DeRozan, Kyle Lowry.
I'm the kind of guy that really, really appreciates the longevity, so I probably would take Kyle Lowry. Longevity is a big part of the bronzexuals like me's arguments versus Michael Jordan.
Yep.
So I try to remain consistent when I'm judging other players when it comes to their careers, to appreciate longevity a little bit more than everything else. So I would probably take Kyle Lowry, but Vince was definitely the most entertaining basketball player they've ever had, and maybe the best all-around basketball player they've ever had. At his peak, at least.
Yeah, I have a 3-part answer for this one. I believe Kyle Lowry is the best player that they've ever had because I also factor in how long he's just been doing such a great job there. The most impactful player is Vince Carter. And my favorite player, personal favorite player, is Damon Stoudemire. I had the jersey, little Mighty Mouse jersey back in the day. I was a big fan of Damon Stoudemire. And I bought the Raptors Damon Stoudemire jersey. And I sported it. It was pretty sweet.
Oh, he doesn't like them because they overrated the Bucks and they went up 0-2 against Toronto. And Bud couldn't do shit after simple change by Nick Nurse. Does not like Bud.
I do. I lost a little bit of money on that.
Please, Tottery.
Tottery. Tottery's new. I haven't. Is this somebody from TikTok or just?
I think I've seen Tottery before. Tottery, let us know if this is your first time in one of our streams. I think I've seen that name before. Okay. Tottery is something that I remember, and I don't think there's too many other people. I ran into a lot of names where it's oh, that reminds me of these other 3 people that have the exact same first and last name sometimes. But Tottery is one that would stick if it stayed, if it was here, and I remember that name from somewhere. So.
And I don't think I've ever seen Notched Whip either.
No, I have not seen Notched Whip. He said fact. He agrees with Tottery. They're on the same team here versus Felke in the chat.
I mean,
yeah.
It was 2 years ago, but I do agree with Felke here, and partially because I lost some money on that series. But you get a 2-0 lead, and then the Raptors just whipped them 4 straight.
Tottery was here for Nets versus Bucks. I told you. I remembered. Like an elephant.
Oh.
That's a horse. I can't make an elephant noise.
I can make an elephant noise. My lips are too dry. I'll get it going. I do it all the time for like my kids and my nieces and nephews.
You almost nailed it.
Oh, I can do it.
I see where I needed to go with it, though, at least for next time. Like, I need to go with the different strategy to making an elephant sound than trying to make it with my mouth. Still with my mouth, but yeah, what you were about to do.
You gotta like push and let the vibration, but
yeah,
my mouth it's just not working out. This is okay. There's been a lot. These guys are chatting it up about the coaching and whatever. Like, here's something for Phil K's side. Like, where were the Bucks in the last? Where was the hype? Where was the enthusiasm in the last game? And one of the personal conversations I got in is like, how much is on the coach and how much is on the players to like be prepared? And when I watched Game 4, even though Giannis got hurt, like the Bucks just never seemed to be the team that was dominating and like going for it. And then all of a sudden tonight they come out like a house on fire. Is it just because they're at home? Like, what do you think about that, Mike? Like, how much coaching do you think? Like, what percentage would you put on the coach to have a team ready for a big game?
Oh, percentage-wise, it's got to be above 50. In basketball, I'll balance that number out a little bit more because there's players in the league that can literally determine whether teams win or lose. Like, it is on their shoulders because basketball is still a team sport, but it can become individually driven, unlike other sports like baseball baseball, you can just hit a home run, but for the most part, the pitcher has to play well along with the batters with the bats to win a game. In basketball, Kobe Bryant can drop 50 and single-handedly almost win the game for you. And in football, same thing. So as far as like everyone's individual percentages, they all get raised a little bit, right? Than it would be in a football game. So you got to put more than 50%, especially in a game where Giannis isn't playing, on the coach. 60%, 65%.
Well, so I had it 60-40 players to coach, right? Like
player 60.
Yeah, like I feel like kind of based on your argument a little bit is like your best player should be able to feel that moment and just go kill. You know, just have that sort of like Kobe will, like you said, you know, to just go and say, all right, we're not playing good. I'm going to go do something to kickstart the boys. I'm going to go get a dunk. I'm going to go make this person look like a fool, whatever it is. So, yeah, sometimes I see the Bucks and I'm always like, it's like, you remember when we watched the Cowboys and everybody makes fun of Coach Clapp, like when Jason Garrett was just always on the side, like, okay, come on. It's okay. We're down 17 right now. It's okay. Like, where's the fire? Like, try something different. Okay, 30%. Yeah. It's in that range for me. Like you said, the coaching to me in football is, I give a little bit more weight because you can just see the coaches who constantly win, and constantly get the best out of players.
And football is a sport where you can get the best out of a less talented player, and that less talented player can go out and shut down more talented players just because they're working harder and they got better technique and better strategy, and you got a better scheme drawn up. In basketball, how many schemes are there you can go to? Is it as deep as football? I never played basketball, so I'm not sure. But I've studied and learned like at least like 10 different football playbooks in my life, and they get pretty complex, you know, different formations and plays you can run out of those formations.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not as complex, especially when you watch the breakdown of great players, when it's just like you and me, and I'm going to dominate you because I'm better. Like, you can get your individual matchups like on the line in football or something like that, or you can be a hitter who's really hot in baseball, you know, and like maybe you have this number, but you only get to come up once every 9 times. You get to put the stick in your hands. It's not like in basketball, every time down the court, I can call my number. I can call my own play every time I get a chance to put something on the board. So
if you run into someone that is just that much better than everyone else on the court, it's pretty unstoppable. But you run into someone like Patrick Mahomes in football, you can stop him.
Yeah, you also have the like that you don't have in those other sports. Well, I guess you do in baseball, but defense is different. Is that your defense can generate offense for you. You know, you start playing the passing lane a little bit more. You can get people hyped on a block or whatever. Like you can change things at the other end of the floor just as much. So
very different sports. Interesting dynamics between coaches, players, star players, role players. Everyone plays their own different little niche and role in the team.
Yeah, like sometimes I miss team sports. Makes me want to like join a bowling league or something like that. An old person would.
Let's do it.
You know,
me, you, and Joe. We'll find a bowling league that's like in the middle of all of us. Like we'll triangulate.
I like that idea. Although I think I might be like right smack dab in the center of you guys.
That's perfect. We're bowling out by you then. Seahawks did a good change, and Bud is just letting them break the lead. I mean, it's a 14-point game. It's okay. Go Ducks, by God.
You want some good Bud Ducks in 5. What?
It's the autocorrect.
This is the kind of the game, the start they needed though. Like this is what I wasn't sure that we would see this, you know, like especially the way they came out last game. But did you ever play in those games where like maybe the best player in your team wasn't going to be there and you had a big game and then all of a sudden the team just played way better than you thought? Like I had a couple hockey games like that where one kid was like out of the country with his family for Christmas and he didn't make it back on time for a tournament. And we played like the best weekend of hockey we had played the whole year without this kid who was clearly one or two of the best players on our team. I want to put myself in that category too. I was pretty good. I led the team in goals that year, but I mean, he was very good. And we played some of the best hockey that we had played. And it always like blew my mind. I was like, how did we play that well without Adam there? Not Adam Banks, by the way, for any of you Mighty Ducks fans.
Everyone locked in. Yeah, we had it happen plenty of times, especially in high school, more in high school than when I played overseas, because report cards would come out. And when we knew it was report card week, like we already had an idea of who wasn't going to be playing that week and who wasn't going to be playing the following week either, because it's going to take them at least 2 weeks to get their grades back up or for another progress report, whatever it is to clear them back out. And sometimes that will be our best players, which I never understood, by the way. If you're a kid in high school, even if you're not good at football, but especially if you're good at football, the grades part is the easy part, man. And I know it's different for everybody, but that part should be taken care of. Take care of that part. Get you a 3.0 GPA, because it doesn't matter how good you are at football if you don't at least have a 3.0 or pass. If you just pass with a 2.0 and you're like all-American, and maybe you can still get in. But to be a football player in college, you need to have a 3.0 or higher in high school. So just take care of that. Anyways, there's just these guys that are just so gifted and their football careers got ended because their grades in high school got stopped right there. 10 years of Pop Warner ended right there because they couldn't keep their grades up in high school.
That's why you got to play at the JC.
But yeah, I would notice that too. My last game of my career, my senior year, got all messed up, and it's a whole long story behind it that we'll tell another time on a football conversation or stream. But the last game, we had no chance at playoffs. We had no chance to go any further. A bunch of the seniors just quit on the last week. They're just like, oh, we're not going to play, which blows my mind. And it makes sense why our season got ruined, because you clearly do not love football as much as I do. Because I had a full mental breakdown during my last game. Like, I was crying. You had to drag me out the field and rip the shoulder pads off my shoulders because I thought that was it. I was done. But, yeah, so we had to play with, like, a lot of our backups that game because all the seniors quit except for, like, the quarterback, me, and, like, 2 or 3 of the other seniors. And that game was my favorite game of my career, was the last game. And we lost 51-50 that game on a missed field goal. But it still is my favorite game ever.
Oh, damn.
Our defense was stinky because we had a bunch of sophomores out there playing defense. But our offense played their ass off. They just on Monday, when we found out that all the seniors were going to quit, like coach just got whoever was left and was like, all right, this is our offense. None of us were offensive players except for the quarterback and like the left tackle played offense all year. The rest of us were defensive players that came over and played receiver. But we had a great time. So Yeah, I guess you can like go into the game with less pressure, not having your star player. I don't know what it is. You just
maybe you play a
play
little
looser.
freer.
Yeah.
You weren't looking for that person to bail you out in certain
Yeah, you're not
situations.
forcing it to them.
Yeah.
Tottery and Felke still going at it. Raps aren't winning it for another 40 years. Don't joke about that, man. I'm a fan of a team that hasn't won it in the 50, 60-year history.
Tottery's not wrong.
Painful.
Tottery ain't wrong. They're gonna have to draft their way into a championship, which isn't impossible, but it's not happening overnight. And I can't imagine people are going there. I never heard any more rumors about Tampa, about whether or not they were going there or not. Mike, I love that story that you shared. Also, I want to say this. I have a theory on star athletes are so used to just like they have these visions that their life is going to be great. They're going to the league. Everything's going to be fantastic. There's no focus on school. There was always jokes about offensive linemen being dumb, but offensive linemen that I knew were all very smart and did well in school, especially the interior guys, like they weren't getting things handed to them. They didn't have great jaw lines and every girl didn't want to date them. Like they focused on school and played football and whatever, but you get some of those other guys that like think they're going to the NHL or the NFL or whatever it is, and all of a sudden it's like, school, it's secondary, and then reality slaps you in the face. So, yeah, it's pretty people have it easy.
Yeah, it's a balance. And speaking of school, you saw that they're going to let football players and college athletes start making money in certain ways with endorsements and stuff. That's cool to see.
Oh, how magnanimous of them to let them use their own,
right? How
likeness.
Generous.
What a bunch. The NCAA is a freaking joke. Like, it's these guys should all be able to collect a paycheck on their own. And here's the thing. They realize they have no control over it, Mike. Like there's nothing they can do because now these kids can start an Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever it is, and get sponsored posts from whatever. How are they going to stop it? They had to do this because of the way that media is changing. They would have never let the guys when I was younger do this. Chris and Ed O'Bannon had to go sue because I'm playing an NCAA game with these two kids from UCLA, the O'Bannon brothers. Was it Charles and Ed? It's just like, they didn't have a choice to do this because these kids were going to go make their money anyway. They're going to put out an Instagram post sponsored by somebody and they're going to collect a check.
And that's fine with me, man. That story, you heard of Destroying's story?
No.
He's a YouTuber now, really popular. He's got, I think, 3.5 million subscribers, somewhere around that range. It might be more by now. That's just what I remember it being. I'm a big fan of his. He's a football YouTube channel, but he goes out and does all kinds of stuff. Runs routes with NFL wide receivers, or will go to like high school games and just kind of cover the games, or just does a variety of football content. It's like all outdoor stuff, not what we do, where we're talking and stuff. But when he was in college, he was his team's kicker. He was at UCF. And that's when he started his YouTube channel. Well, after a couple months, his YouTube channel actually caught some ground, and he picked up a few thousand subscribers and started to get some money and everything. Well, the NCAA found out about it, launched an investigation on him, and told him that you can continue to play football at UCF, continue to be a kicker, and delete your YouTube channel, or you're going to lose your full ride scholarship. And you can continue with your YouTube, but you're getting kicked out of football and you're losing your scholarship along with it. Well, he chose the YouTube channel, which turns out was a great choice because he's one of the biggest YouTubers on there now, especially in the sporting world. And he's basically a celebrity with how big his following is. He's got over 3 million followers. But when they put out this week that they are going to go ahead and let athletes make money while they're in college, he put out a long post about his story and everything and how it affected him and how happy he is that they're finally fixing it. But I just thought that was a really cool story, and I wondered if you had heard it before.
I hadn't heard it, but good for him. This is also a great chance for him to market because now you're sharing this with me. We're sharing it on here. Other people are hearing it, and maybe more people will go follow him. It's one of those situations that just sucks because he should have been able to continue to kick, enjoy his life, have fun in college, but also like he made the tough decision. He gave up a chance to be at a university, getting a free education, whatever, and followed a passion. He made the right choice, in my estimation, even without knowing today's success. Is that like, what is the likelihood you're going to get drafted into the NFL as a kicker and you're going to be Adam Vinatieri? Or like, that's not a likely scenario. But what is more likely is that you can control your own fate by creating and running your own business, essentially, which is what content creation is. You're just you're trying different things, seeing what they work. You're throwing spaghetti at the wall. Oh, this one stuck. Let's do more of that spaghetti, like whatever it is. So good for him. I'm gonna go check him out after this.
Destroying with 2 E's when you're looking it up. He's really popular. You'll find it really easily. He's got all kinds of football content. You'll see it. Cool stuff too. And he highlights a lot of high school players, so it gives them a little bit of a platform to start building a following of their own.
I like it.
I resonate with his story a lot because I did something similar. So just not on the same level or stage.
Well, you're still grinding away. You'll be there. You'll be Mike the Destroyer.
Mike the Destroyer. No, here's my name right now, Tony. You want to see it? Let's see if I can get this banner off. Can you read it? Or is it too small for you?
No, I don't even know where I'm supposed to be looking.
That's my name today.
Can they see that? I guess they can. I see. Now I didn't know where I was supposed to be looking. That's funny. I was noticing in and out of those conversations. And this is kind of one of the things that I do miss about when we do the trending shows where I just sit there and yammer and bump my gums about dumb stuff, is talking about things like that. But in this game, Hawks had like a 3-2 fast break, and Bogdanovich just pulled up for 3. It shit drives me crazy. Like, you had a chance to get an easy bucket. Like, just
go get it. Yeah. Rack. You need a run anyways. Yeah, more than you need that 1-3. Yeah, that one extra point.
Yes. Like, just go take advantage of the numbers and get the easy bucket. Like, I don't care what the analytics say about you being a bum. Shoot 46% when I shoot from the top of the key on a fast break. And it's just it's like sloppy out here. This is real close to just getting blown open, where we have the open forum and it just turns into an AMA. Although I might have some questions for Tottery and Felt K.
They're going at it in the chat. I can't even keep up with how much they're going at it. He's going to demand a trade request if y'all don't get your shit together. Who's y'all? Oh, when Giannis leaves. He's talking about Giannis.
Yeah.
I think Giannis is in for at least this year, obviously, and next year. Now, if they fail this year, either in this round or the next, and they fail next year, now maybe we could talk about Giannis leaving. But I don't see them reaching the conference finals or reaching the finals and then Giannis being like, all right, I'm done with y'all. Send me to LA.
I honestly don't think Giannis is the kind of player who wants the big city and the craziness. I don't think he's for that. Like, I don't think he's going to look for it. I think he likes Milwaukee. Anybody who's ever been to Milwaukee, like, it's kind of a nice city. Like, it's kind of big. It's got everything most major cities have. The winter sucks, but that's all the Midwest. Doesn't matter where you are. It's nice. The people are nice for the most part. I spent a lot of time in the Wisconsin area as a kid. Wisconsin's a great place. It's just small.
My great-grandfather is from Wisconsin. Huge Brett Favre fan.
Me and your grandfather are best friends.
Well, when he was alive, you would be best friends, yes.
Hell yeah, I carry on his memory. Brett Favre, who ever lived.
He loves Phillip Rivers and Brett Favre. That was the only players he liked. Everyone else, he thought they were a bunch of sissies.
He loved interceptions then, because those two guys are like 1 and 2 in the books.
I just think he liked the guys that come on and be like, so what happened? How are you going to respond to this loss next week? I'm going to pull up my Wranglers and I'm going to tie my bolo tie and I'm going to sling the rock and we're going to win.
And I agree. That's one of the things that I loved about Favre is 1 week it would be 4 interceptions and then the next week it would be 4 touchdowns. it was entertainment at its greatest form. It couldn't get any. I didn't know, and like obviously you get more of the 4 touchdown games, or you don't have a 20-year NFL career.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is, it's the same thing with, if we're gonna stay in the basketball realm for a second, like Kobe Bryant. Like if Kobe would have had more of the 7 for 28 games, he wouldn't have been Kobe Bryant, but he had more of the 40 point, 14 for 22 games. So like that's how you get to greatness. But great players have some real stinkers. Like
and to have that mentality when you do have a stinker game, to just turn around and like act like it didn't happen.
Yep.
Or learn from it, take what you need from it, and that game's in the garbage. That game doesn't exist anymore. Like that takes some serious next level kind of mindset that only a few people, a very small percentage of people can even possess. Like if I take an L at anything, not just sports, in life, if something goes wrong, I sometimes think of like, damn, what if I was like a celebrity or professional athlete and I took an L like this? How would I react when the media is like berating me with questions? I would say some really bad stuff to them.
These guys are getting wild in the comments right now. No, I agree, and you know what? You can actually extrapolate that to life.
Oh my!
That is what stops most people on their day-to-day basis. You don't need to be a professional athlete. The thing is that like when you take an L in life, like how you respond to it affects the next moment. If you can brush it off and then pick up and move on to the next thing, you didn't get this one job you wanted. You didn't, this person you asked out didn't respond the way you want, whatever it is. Respond to that L with a winning attitude and you have more winning moments in life. And a lot of people, they don't have that, whether they're athletes or not. So it's a mindset. It's the way that you look at things. It's a way to get more positive and all that stuff. But the more that you can sort of not live and really, let that marinate. When you live with the loss, you become a loser in a way. You just got to brush it off and you got to be like, look, I'm a winner. I was born to win. I reek of winning. And then you become a winner. Just put it into the atmosphere what you want, and it comes true. But these guys are going crazy.
They're going at it. Notched Whip is basically telling Felke that the Raptors suck, and Felke is basically saying, yeah, we do suck. We're rebuilding. That's what sucky teams' defenses are, which is a fair defense. And he said he agrees. So I think we came to a understanding here between Notched Whip and Felke, and now we can all be friends again. Woo. There we go. Full circle.
Well, I mean, I don't want to reheat the argument. I was just gonna say something to get to have the back of Felke, but if we're at a good
it's gonna open up the whole new can of worms. Yeah. I had a fun interaction in the comments of an Instagram post 2 days ago or 3 days ago. And it was this guy who went to my comment section and he was commenting about how wrong I was, and he sent this long paragraph calling me dumb and that I don't watch football. Oh, it was a Baker Mayfield post, of course. Sorry, Tony. He thought that I was hating on Baker because I didn't think Baker was elite. I don't understand. Anyways, we went back and forth for a day, 24-hour period. Every couple hours, one of us responds with a long paragraph defending our point. And at the end, he's like, all right, okay, I agree with you. And I was like, I mean, cool, but this is not how I wanted this long, where I put a lot of effort into argument to end with you just giving in and just being like, I agree with you. 3 words.
You did get the victory. And if you can't get satisfaction out of that, then I don't know what you were doing in engaging in it. But the part that is the weirdest is where the hell would he be going with that, right? And apparently they did not settle their beef because Notch Whip then rattled off 3 comments about talking about how the Raps are ass. And this is what I was going to say to Felke. They've won a championship within the last 3 years or whatever. The last time the Bucks won a championship, I believe Luol Cinder was playing for the team.
Is that what you're holding on to?
All I'm saying is that we're talking about a team that can actually see glory in their rearview mirror. The Bucks haven't seen glory since the greatest center of all time was playing under a different name. Like, that's a long time to be without championships. So, like,
that's another interesting topic and a whole nother conversation. And maybe we can steer the chat this direction. As far as like when you win a championship or your team wins a championship, as a fan, how long do you get to hold on to that bragging right? Till the next champion? And that's it? Now you got to stop and just be like, yeah, it's cool we won in 2015, but it's 2015. Doesn't count anymore. You can't use this bragging rights. Or can you use a Super Bowl from 10 years ago or a finals from 10 years ago and be like, yeah, we just won it 10 years ago. What are you talking about? We're successful.
Okay, so 7 feels like a good number for some reason.
7.
I'm just throwing that arbitrarily out there. But let me put it like this. If you're in a situation like Felke, I think he should be able to hang on to a Raptors championship for a while until his team actually looks like a legit contender for something, right? Because then that will have finished the rebuild process. You're now putting something out there and you are ready to recompete to regain your crown. But the fact that you lose Kawhi, you only had him for the 1 year, and like some of the arguments that I would be having about the Raptors championship, I have not heard in there, because we all remember how that series really played itself out. Like the Warriors, they lost. They were like an old motel sign, and the R fell off. You know, the W, the light blinked out. It just said "Air yours" or whatever. Like, it was out of business. Like they fell apart physically in that series. But I think like 7 years is a good number, or like if you are in a rebuilding state, I would say you can hang on and celebrate that championship during the rebuild. But the moment that you have a couple all-stars, you know, a couple max players, if we're sticking around in the NBA, and your team is like favored to be winning games, you're a top 2-3 seed, you're competing for an NBA title, I think then you got to let it go and you got to focus on the present and stop living in the past.
This is a good comment.
What?
Bud is as slow as going to a website as Tony.
What the?
I thought you and FLK were cool, and you were just defending him.
I did too. All right. Down with the Raptors.
The last spot in the power rankings. Toddery and Notch Lip are not holding back. I appreciate FLK. He's getting jumped, and he's standing up for himself down there, though. I think it depends for me, like, who is your franchise, right? When the Lakers win the championship, like, or the Dodgers even last year, about a week later, and you probably did the same thing, I was on the internet preaching back-to-back already. Because I'm already counting them up for the Lakers when they won the championship. Oh. I'm already counting them up because we're that franchise. We stay in the championship conversation. And when we leave the championship conversation, it's very, very unlikely it's going to be more than a decade, like some of these franchises. But if my Chargers won the Super Bowl, I'm holding that on for 10 years. Especially if I'm not like old. If I'm younger, like your age, I'm holding on to that for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I hang on to the Favre Super Bowl like nobody's business. And I'm still bitter about the 97 Super Bowl against the Broncos because if Mark Chmura doesn't drop the football, Green Bay goes back-to-back. Yeah, no, I think it all depends on where you're at, where you're from. And sports is so different now, too, because you got teams like the Lakers that are basically just saying, like, hey, we'll pay and buy anybody. And people want to come to LA, which still, like, baffles me. But that's when you think about it from a poor mindset. You're like, who would want to live here? And it's like, oh, no, if you're a millionaire, everybody would want to live here. You can live on Malibu. You can live in Brentwood. You can live in the finest places of the city, not in the parts of the valley where I was living before, where it's like, oh, who would want to live here? Surrounded by, like, homelessness and dirty and just, like, it's gross. No,
on top of it, 50% in taxes taken away.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get hit with taxes any which way, but I just feel like all these people have different, turn their home into their business asset or something,
You know what would be good is if you were an NBA player who also had a rap career going alongside it at the same time. Los Angeles can help the rap career kind of start to get close to parallel with the NBA career. And now you're making double the amount of money. And I don't know any specific players that are in that scenario, But if they were in that scenario, the Lakers do need a guard. Because if you're a rapper and a basketball player and an elite guard in the NBA, and you happen to live in Portland, which no offense to Portland, no offense to Oregon. Yeah, I'm just saying if you were in this situation.
Yes.
No offense to Oregon. Yeah. I used to be in the military before this. I've told everyone, I'm pretty sure. So y'all understand. The ship that I was stationed on, the month after I left, relocated to Portland from overseas to America. And I was like, just my damn luck. Waited till a month after I left to relocate. But all my friends on that ship do not enjoy living in Portland. So just using like word of mouth that if you were a rapper, if you were stuck in Portland, if you were a guard, the Lakers would be a destination that you would try and shout out.
Okay, so there was a question that was answered back here a few seconds ago. And Notch Whip said, Raps or Bucks? And he said, answer at King of Warzone. I'm not sure who that King of Warzone comment is for. And then they go on going back and forth. Drummond's a rapper too, Tottery? We don't need that kind of rapper.
Oh, we already got him.
We don't need that rapper. We need a different rapper. We need one that has a wristwatch that's always on time. This isn't close. The Bucks. Why is it anybody asking a question about who's better right now? Of course, we all know the Bucks are the better team right now. They should be. They are paying 3 max players. This is sort of the problem with the NBA right now, though, is that like we have a bunch of people. Dame doesn't want to be in Portland. Donovan Mitchell doesn't want to be in Utah, and Zion doesn't want to be in New Orleans. Everybody wants to play in like 4 cities, or they want to play with their best friends, or in Miami, or in New York, or whatever. It's like, if that's the case, then why don't we just have like 6 cities that the teams play in, and we just have like 4 different teams in each one of those cities, or whatever it is. Like, if that's really how it's going to be, then let's just break it up, and they can be like, oh, but we're playing for this region or this city, but we're going to be in, like, that's what's my problem with the NBA, is that everybody's migrating to one place or the other. We give LeBron like cheers for going home to Cleveland and winning, but he saw an opportunity. They had cap space to add a 3rd guy, and they had a young Kyrie Irving, and he got to stay in an Eastern Conference that he knew he could dominate. But we're all like, oh, LeBron, what a great guy. He stayed and went to loyal and went to a small town. But nobody else is going to Cleveland. Like, you have to be from there. That's why I said Donovan Mitchell. Like, unless there is the number 3 recruit right now coming out, and he's from Utah and he's Mormon, like, nobody else is coming to play with Donovan Mitchell in Utah. It's just that we've never seen it. I don't know why all of a sudden that would be the case. So I think that Donovan Mitchell will leave and go somewhere else too, even though Dwayne Wade is there. Hawks made this a game, by the way, while we were chatting it
up. I know. It's down to an 8-point game. Yeah. The game of runs. And now Felke starting to look like he was right about the overrated coach thing, because he said that they start off hot and then they get caught up on. So
it doesn't matter. They got Chris Middleton. That's Chris with an H. Like, he doesn't lose.
Yeah, that caught me off guard. I was making a Chris Middleton graphic, and I saw the H in there, and I was like, doesn't look right.
Well, I have a request. If he had a big game tonight, I had a request for you to make me something. It's very simple, but I don't want to spoil it. If he has a big game, I'll make the request afterwards as a post tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're still in here. Who's y'all's teams? There you go. Tony Tucker, NBA team.
Lakers.
I am also a Lakers fan, but I'm also a fan of sports. Notch Whip. So.
Yeah, I am too. Notch, I grew up in Michigan with the Pistons. I'm older. I started watching basketball in 1987, I believe it was. So I grew up with like Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas and Rick Mahorn and Bill Laimbeer and Vinnie Johnson, Chuck Daly, John Sat, like all the old bad boys Pistons. That was the first basketball team I ever loved, was the Pistons. I moved out to California about 20-something years ago and just sort of like cheered for whoever. I married a Lakers fan, and I cheer for the Lakers. Like they were shit when I married my wife. Though it was like Jordan Farmar, and like it wasn't. It was the end of Kobe Bryant being dominant. So
Jordan Farmer. I remember.
Yeah, no,
From my childhood.
I agree, Notch. That do you prefer Notch or Whip? I like Whip. Whip's easier for me to say. Whip. The Lakers have to have this much to do, right? It's to make a tough decision with Anthony Davis and LeBron James and whatever. Like, are they going to try and build the team around LeBron the way that other teams have been built before, where it's just veterans and shooters and stuff like that? Or is it Anthony Davis's team and it's still going to be shooters and stuff, but maybe they're a little bit younger? Maybe it's not a full just blow up situation.
Yeah, the offseason is definitely going to be interesting because they also don't have too much cap, right?
No.
Spend. So they can't be out here just buying all the free agents up. They got to work the cap. They got to work some trades out, I think, is their best bet to get some guys.
Yeah, and they don't have enough to get a marquee player.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's who you're referencing before because I'm not sure. I haven't heard CJ McCollum's solo album yet. So
it could have been McCollum. McCollum has a pretty good podcast. I forget what it's called. I don't think he does it during the season, though. He probably started it up again.
Okay. It's called On the Beat with CJ. Like it's just a real sort of, staccato, acapella rap.
Just no beat.
Yeah.
Off the beat with CJ.
off the beat.
Halftime we go.
I don't know what's going to happen with the Lakers. I don't know all the cap situations. I can say the players that I would like to see or, the speculation, but I don't know how accurate those are.
What are the chances that LeBron retires with us? Because I think that they're low, honestly. I think he's going to have a twilight year somewhere else.
No, I think it's 0 because when his son gets in the league, he's just going to want to go play wherever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And like his son's getting, like people are like, how do we know he's gonna get? It's LeBron James' son. Like he's getting. If Doc Rivers his kid could get into the league, Doc Rivers' kid was not. He is in the league and played his way and stayed into the league for sure. But I remember when he was younger, I was like, what's going on here? Like even Seth Curry, like when he first got into the league, like he looked overmatched and he should have been getting minutes. But now that you work hard, you have good pedigree, you find out how to stand up on your skis type of a situation. So Bronny's getting in, and wherever Bronny ends up, I have a feeling that LeBron's going to go there.
LeBron's out. And he won't care by then. By then, it'll just be about playing with the son, winning. If it happens, cool. If not, I'm old, and I'm going to pass the ball to other people. Twilight year. I like twilight years. Yes. Dwayne Wade had a twilight year too. He didn't leave, but he had that one last year in Miami where it was just like, this is a good cap to Dwayne Wade.
Well, yeah, it's like the tour that these guys these greats get to go out on.
Yeah.
I've seen it in all sports where they get to have the little tip of the cap. I mean, obviously Kobe's game, his final game is iconic. Like I had a family engagement. And my phone just kept vibrating, right? And I was just like, what's going on? I'm not this popular. Nobody likes me this much. Like, did one of my dumb tweets finally make some noise somewhere? No, it didn't. Everybody was like, get to a TV. Kobe's got 40. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Kobe can't get 40. They're like, get to a TV. You got to get to Kobe's got 51. I'm just like, get out of my way.
At that point, I'm pulling over to the nearest like Buffalo Wild Wings or something.
Yeah. I had kids in the back just crying and chatting all over them. So it was a freaking nightmare. But I did like go find it on YouTube and rewatch it. And it's one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen to have that many miles on your body and peace out with a 60. With the 60 piece.
Well, you knew that he wasn't going to leave that court and wasn't going to walk away from the game unless he put it all out. And I feel like that was his, I'm going to just leave it all out. This is the last I got left in me to do it. I also missed the game, but I was in boot camp for that game.
Yeah, you're a hero. Like, and
painful. It sucked, man. He was like my childhood idol growing up as far as sports went. I knew it was his last year, but I didn't know that the game was be that crazy. Obviously, I watched it afterwards. That was the first thing I did. Like my mom and my girlfriend at the time, now wife, like flew out to Chicago for my boot camp graduation. And they're like, "What do you want to do first?" And I said, "I want to watch Kobe's game." So we went to this pizza spot in Chicago and just watched the game.
It's like, yeah, I didn't anticipate that. I don't think really anybody maybe thought that was possible besides Kobe Bryant. Like, I don't remember talking to anybody or hear anybody say, "Oh yeah, like watch Kobe's gonna have one of these kind of games."
Imagine being at the game. Oh, whew.
The place was it was insane. It looked like a playoff game, but
he not only dropped 60, he had to hit some like down the line game-winning shots.
Oh, and he was in full like I used to say I get nauseous watching Kobe pump fake, and like in that game it was pump fake city. Like, a lot of those where he's just like, huh. But those are like the things you got to do when you get to the end.
Yeah, and every Utah Jazz player on that court was guarding him. It was 5-on-1. No one else is taking shots for the rest of the game. What do you think? Freaking D'Angelo Russell was going to start taking over after Kobe scored 50 already?
Jordan was like, "Hey, pass me the ball, Kobe." It's like, get out of here, bro. You're not touching this rock for the rest of the game. You might as well become a spectator.
Well, after his career, Kobe was just straight up, why would I pass the ball to someone that doesn't work hard enough to be good enough to play basketball? Jesus.
Yeah, there's no way that in my last game, if I'm Kobe Bryant, there's no way I'm passing the ball. Like, if people were accusing me of being a ball hog, you ain't seen shit until I play my last game I'm ever going to be able to lace them up in the NBA. I'm taking every single shot I possibly can. Like, why wouldn't you? This is your stage. This is your moment in the last time you're going to get to experience it. I'm putting up 45, 50 shots in that game.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
What is Shaq doing right now? Are you seeing the screen?
Yeah, Shaq has he made a little Atlanta one of his little HAWKS beaks out of the fake money that was on Chuck's guarantee from the other day.
When is Chuck leaving? Chuck's supposed to be leaving this show, isn't he?
Yeah, he said 2 years, and I kind of get it. There's too much, well, because his contract's up, and so he wants that money.
But why is he talking about it now?
So I think two things are going to happen. I think one, he's probably negotiating, and he might leave after this year. I could see him walking away if he gets like a better deal with like Barstool or something like that, right? Like, because if you're Chuck, there's a lot of money to be made where you can go other places, and you're not going to have executives telling you what you can and cannot say and who you have to apologize to, right? That's the good thing about sort of what we do. Like, I think we try to set guidelines of what we expect from people that come on to live streams and what they're going to say and a certain way to carry yourself and represent it. But also, we're not saying that you can't have opinions. So, like, he made a comment about big girls from San Antonio or something. This was, I don't know when this was, but they like wanted to apologize, and he's like, "Kiss my ass. Hell's gonna freeze over before I give you an apology about making a joke." He has had that moment. He had another moment where he stood up for, controversial, not even controversial, but just had moments about like how black folks and white folks get along and whatever. And like some people were mad and then other people wanted apologies for this. Like, I really think he just wants to like get in front of a microphone, get as much money as he can. Don't get me wrong. The dude wants to get paid. He's a gambling addict. But he can get that money. Like, people's personal brands are so big now, they could literally put a camera in Chuck's home and stream it out to thousands of people and just watch Chuck smoke cigars and sit there with his friends and have them talk about a basketball game. Kind of like what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people would choose the Chuck stream over us. Like, just that's how it would work. It's Charles Barkley. So, like, why wouldn't he do it?
No. I mean, I'm all for that. I'd rather all of these guys shift over to the internet because that's good for us.
Yes,
All these guys shifting over just keep shifting, like raising the viewership, like options, the options we have for acquiring viewers. They just make it larger and larger for us, and they give us more and more of an opportunity as we try and grind our way up to somewhat of a high level with them. But I thought he was leaving like after the season or something.
Yeah, I think there's just negotiating that's going on with him and his agent. What up, Scott? How we doing out there? What do you think of this first half, this game? You think Atlanta's got a real shot to come back? Avoid
Tony.
the friendly fight. Pepperton.
He wants your mic turned up.
Why does Tony sound low? He afraid to be talking on the air? I don't know. I didn't know that I sounded low, but now that you told me, hey Pepperton, is this better? It's better when I get it.
That's one too.
All right, let me find a way to raise my microphone for Pepperton, who's just clearly a diva.
Pepperton needs to get some hearing aids. But anyways, I don't know if you saw, I think it developed yesterday and the day before, Ariel Hulani is leaving ESPN. And everyone was wondering where he was going. And he came out with a YouTube video today and said, I'm going to be independent. And I was like, yes, man, we need more people like you who have a big name to go to YouTube and just start a channel. Because you are expanding it so much for us. Pat McAfee is a trailblazer for people like us.
Well, yeah. Also, too, like you can build a sustainable business once you already. I think I put this in our little private chat. All right, once you're synonymous with the thing, you become the brand itself.
Yep.
Like, he is a figure in this sport. So wherever he goes, people are going to want to attach themselves because he already has a fan base, and especially in something that is not oversaturated. There's plenty of room for people who are big UFC fans to get in there and create their own space because that sport's going to continue to grow. The more that people become more comfortable with the idea of just like blood and violence, like I don't think it'll ever get to the level of the NFL. But there's still room for it to be there. Pepperton, how are we doing?
He said ESPN is falling. Yeah, I think just people are just getting tired of the same old shtick over and over again. Like, how many times can you watch a suit and tie talk? We go from Skip and Shannon in a suit and tie to Max and Stephen A in a suit and tie to whoever's next. You know what I mean? And it's just all day.
Well, yeah, some of the shows that I like to pop into, they're a little too formatted too. Like the conversation just can't kind of flow all over. But like Jalen and Jacoby, they'll have good segments. I'm also just a huge Jalen Rose fan. Like Jalen Rose is because the Fab Five was like the greatest thing ever. Like I still have a pair of black socks that I'll wear out there looking like some old dude, trapped in the early 90s. Mike, take me off screen real quick. I'm going to go look for something to prop this microphone up so I don't have to hold it. I don't want to hear more BS from Pepperton.
You heard him, Pepperton. This year's conference final was sort of whacked out. No telling what could happen. Yes, I agree with this, Scott. And a lot of people think that this makes for a more entertaining finals potentially. But I would rather, not that I need to see the Lakers versus the Nets, or I need to see Steph Curry versus LeBron or KD, or I need to see specific players in the finals for me to be entertained. But I do want to see both teams at full strength, whatever the teams are. Suns, Bucks, Suns, Hawks. I hope that the team in the Eastern Conference that represents the Eastern Conference can get to full strength before the finals. Because it makes for not as exciting finals, in my opinion. A lot of people like the parity and like seeing that anyone can win this thing. I want to see Giannis out there. I want to see Trae Young out there. Otherwise, the Suns are just going to walk them. And it's just like the situation with Toronto a couple of years ago, which is just to bring it up again so you guys can keep fighting. Felke, look, man, you just got to brush it off. They're coming at you. You just got to brush it off. Don't even respond. I wish you guys could just come to a compromise and meet in the middle and say, hey, I agree with you on these things. I agree with you on these things, but we're going to have to agree to disagree on these things.
All right.
If you can't do it, then Felke, you just got to stop responding to them because at this point, they're just putting LeBronto at will, which LeBron James versus the Toronto Raptors usually scores at will. So it's fair.
I don't know where it ended.
They're still going. They're still going at about the Raptors, but there's no argument for the Raptors in this. There's no horse in the Raptors race right now.
This is something that, does this sound okay? I turned up the volume and now I can hear
definitely
myself.
Sound louder, but you should ask Pepperton if it's up to his standards because he's got a little bit.
Oh, suckling Pepperton. Here we go. Gotta turn it down a little bit. It's too noisy.
Felke hates Joe Morley. No, Felke just wanted the Clippers to win, and Joe Morley was like a Suns diehard this entire season. Mike, you two really? What are you talking about, Felke? I defended you.
Felke has been poking fun at me too, and it's all in good fun. My thing with opinions is like you can just put it out there. You don't have to continue to defend it. I said my piece about Devin Booker. I'm not going to come to redefine every single time somebody has something to say. I said the guy's not elite yet. He's not a superstar yet. New information comes in, I can change my mind. You put out there how you felt about something. Let the other person keep chirping. Doesn't bother. You shouldn't bother you. Stand next to your opinion. Leave it where it's at. Chris Middleton, best player on the Bucks. Boom. I said it. I stand by it. We saw the 20-point fourth quarter the other night. Vindication.
I will say this, Whip. This is the worst comment that you've left the entire time. This is the most trolly comment that you've left this entire stream.
Oh, my goodness.
You could leave LeBronto 100 times, and it will not top Joe Morley is God. Come on.
I am now convinced that Whip is basically every person who comes on and does stuff like that, they are in the Morley family. Jake the Snake is a Lakers fan for life. Welcome,
there you
Jake.
Go. We're together.
He's on Twitch too. Appreciate you stopping by on Twitch.
Yeah, we need more people from Twitch.
Yeah. Lakers. Who do you want the Lakers to get, Jake, if you're still in there?
Oh yeah. We were talking about that a little earlier. I don't know what that means, Felke.
What is that? Laquia? Is that like a something Ohio?
Something here we go. Whip's focused his target somewhere else.
I don't give a shit. Fire away, Whip.
Oh, never mind. He's still very much on the LeBronto thing.
No, get it in.
I'm surprised Whip didn't just explode into like a pile of dust, like Avenger style, after he put the comment that Joe Morley is God. If you think Chris is better than Giannis, ooh, good thing I didn't say that. Nice try, Whip.
Drew Holiday coming out and starting the same way. Drew Holiday to me is like the one guy that I think could be the difference if the Bucks make it to the finals. That could be the difference in if he can give them 4 or 5 good games, great games like we've seen in the past, then I could see the Bucks hoisting the trophy. You know,
yeah, I feel like if they can just get to the finals and get Giannis back, they should be able to handle the Suns. But I said that about every team against the Suns all playoffs long. So at what point do I stop doubting them? Not this point. I'm going to doubt them no matter who they're playing in the finals.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to cheer against them.
It's simply and only because of Joe Morley.
Oh, no.
Bobby Wamper, come on now. Yeah, come on now. He has gone too far. He may not know basketball, Whip, but he's on the screen, so you're going to have to live with it.
This dude doesn't know basketball. All right. Well, this will be funny. Now, Whip, put up your support for Giannis. And it'll be this. It's the same thing every time. 2 MVPs. The guy scores this many points and then always gets eliminated early on in the postseason. It's the same thing every time.
That's true.
Then at the end of the game, when they ask him to make free throws, air balls. And then when they ask him to make a three, can't shoot a three.
I'm a tenacious defender, Randy. Tenacious is what I would describe myself.
Stats.
Here we go.
It could be verse Middleton. It could be not. It could be whatever. Jake the Snake, I would love Lillard to come to the Lakers too. I just don't think there's room for that. Like, I don't think they have enough pieces or money or space.
Miracles.
I would love to see Dame Lillard play.
Miracles can happen. That's probably where, if he had to choose, he would be because of, his rap career, as I was mentioning earlier. Not that I was talking about Damian Lillard. I was just saying someone that does rap also, and he does. So it kind of works for him. He fits the category. Your team is a bunch of hospital regulars. The Lakers? Why are you coming at the Lakers? We're talking about the Bucks. We're talking about Chris Middleton.
He's trying to get to me.
He can't do it. He can't do it. He can't debate without being trolly. Come on, Whip. We appreciate you, and I hope you subscribed. But it can't be 100% troll. You got to do the troll job like once a stream and then move on.
He's getting up the watch hours. It doesn't even matter.
That's true. Thank you, Whip.
Scott, I respect Middleton, especially if he stays with the Bucks franchise. It'll show tremendous character. I'm a huge fan of Chris Middleton. He makes big shots at the end of games. He shoots like 80-something% from the free throw line, shoots over 40% from three. Like, he does not have the killer mentality that everybody's talking about. I think if there was one thing I would wish for Chris Middleton, it was that he was a little more aggressive, looked for his shot on a more regular basis, because the guy's like 6'9", 6'10", can shoot up over anybody. He plays nice defense. Yes, Giannis is a more gifted basketball player. Like, he's the Greek freak, for crying out loud. But what I'm saying is, at the end of games, when you're asking him to close it, who are you passing the ball to? Who do you want taking the shot? And if you tell me that it's Giannis, okay, then that's fine. That's who you want. I'll see you in the second round exit.
Yeah, Whip, what do you got to say about that? Who do you want taking the shot? Middleton?
That wasn't for Whip. That was for how I feel about it. I'm not, like I said earlier, I'm not here to argue with the people. I put out how I feel. And if
especially with someone whose name isn't really on their profile, like, that's already a red flag for arguments. This game is actually competitive still for what it started as.
Yes. Which kind of feeds into what Felke was saying earlier. But the guy from Atlanta that I have high hopes for is John Collins. I really hope his game evolves more, like, in the post, because the guy can shoot. He's another guy who can make free throws. He can rebound. I like guys who are rangy and can defend and can play and do a lot of different things, right? I'm really big on Sadiq Bey from Detroit. Like, he was a rookie this year, like, and I really like the core that the Pistons are forming, especially now if they can add Cade Cunningham. Who do I want the Lakers to get? Oh, this is a tough one for me. There's the dream of getting a guy like Dame, but then, I'd be happy. Like, what if they got a guy like Jeremy Grant and they just had a reliable third scorer, somebody in that range where it's like maybe LeBron's points dip down to 20 a game, but his assists stay up around 8 to 10, rebounds stay in that 7 range mark, and LeBron could actually play basketball without having to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders for 72 games, because AD could actually just stay healthy. And my biggest wish, whether they get another player or not, is that AD shows up in shape. That's what I want.
Scott agrees with you.
Giannis should not get the ball. It's like anybody would agree with that.
Yeah, Whip agrees with you. He's just saying, like, that's Middleton's job. Yes.
Yeah. No.
If Giannis was that much better than Middleton, would he need Middleton to take the ball in that moment?
So I put out like a short post today, talking about the comparison because there was all this like Kendrick Perkins did the Batman Robin thing with Middleton after the 20 points or whatever. Like Batman Robin is like Scotty Michael or whatever. But there's other duos that have been successful, Shaq and others. Shaq is a big physical guy who dominated in the post. And now Whip, plug your ears because I don't know anything about basketball. So Shaquille O'Neal could not finish games, but Shaquille O'Neal played with other guys that were great finishers. When he was in Orlando, Nick Anderson would take big shots at the end of games, Penny Hardaway. I think if I was going to make a comparison, because I don't see Giannis being necessarily as dominant as Shaq, but their games are both very similar. So I would liken it to young Shaq in Orlando with Penny Hardaway. If they would have had a better coach, in my estimation, than Brian Hill, and I don't even know Brian Hill that well or didn't watch the games as closely as I watch basketball now. So, like, maybe they had more time, a better coach, but, like, the experience that Shaq and D Wade had, I don't think Giannis has that same level of experience, obviously, that Shaq had because he had just been in 4 NBA finals and won 3 with Kobe and the Lakers. And there's no way that I would ever compare Chris Middleton in the Kobe role that he served with Shaq. So I would say it's like a Shaq and Penny is where I can see those where they're at right now. That's a dominant force, and it can get you to an NBA Finals, and I believe it can get you to a win. But they're reliant on each other. Chris Middleton isn't going to score 30-something a night because it's not in his DNA to go out there and be that guy that's going to jack up a bunch of shots. That's all I'm saying is, like, they go hand in hand. You can't – Giannis is not taking that next step without the other guy.
I hear you, and I'm with you.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do you think the Bucks will win the finals? If Giannis can get back, I'm in on the Bucks winning the finals. Chris, what do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I think they definitely can. Yeah, they definitely like. And my thing with the Bucks is like it's just the consistency, and there's a certain level of desperation that like championship teams play with. Just this desire that they won't want to lose with. I'd like to see that more often from the Bucks than I do. Like in Game 4, I was just really confused just watching. I was like, "What's going on? Why are you guys getting out hustled? Why are the rotations so bad on defense? Like, don't you guys understand? Like, you're 2 wins away from going to the NBA Finals." I just didn't see that kind of like that desperation to play. But yeah, I could see the Bucks winning. I'm cheering for the Bucks to win. I'm cheering for Atlanta. I'm cheering for anybody out of the East. I'm not cheering for the Suns. Screw the Suns.
Sorry, my wife's in here. Hi.
Jake.
Jake, are you a new subscriber, Jake? Let us know if you're a new subscriber. Because we haven't gotten the chant this episode yet.
Jake the Snake. Oh, yeah. Especially if you hit that follow button on Twitch. That's what we need to figure out how to get over the 50 threshold. Because I think we've cleared at least a few of the other things to become affiliates over there.
Joe, he doesn't like our finals picks.
What happened?
He said that the Bucks won't win the finals. Hell no, the Bucks won't win the finals.
Well, the guy who's been championing the Suns for forever and ever.
Here we go. And then the first thing he's gonna say, the Lakers suck. All right, now let's talk about the Bucks.
Ooh. This is the other thing that's really different as like I'm watching the game and not as closely maybe as I should be. But
Portis made a good play. That was nice. I like watching him when he gets a little bit of an expanded role. You can see he feeds off the crowd a lot, plays at a higher level than you'd expect him to.
Yeah, those are always the guys that I envision myself as.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the kind of person who's ever like, oh, yeah, if I was out there, I would be Kobe. Because I just have never had that ability at anything. So I'm always like, oh, yeah, if I would, I could be a guy who just gave maximum effort. And that's what I love about Portis. He seems to maximize his opportunities.
Here we go. Jake the Snake. Ready? Thanks for subbing, Jake the Snake! Jake the Snake! Jake the Snake! Jake the Snake! If you're a new subscriber, we chant, we celebrate, we dance. Hopefully we get to a point where we're doing that about once every 10 minutes on live streams.
Oh, I got to see that. That looked pretty clean, actually.
Yeah, this worked out awkward.
Sportsmanship. What is it?
Whip said the Lakers do suck, but in this situation, Joe Morley Sports is not a Lakers fan, so it backfired on him. Anywho, ready to transition to a topic that I have kind of like in my line of questions to ask you throughout the stream if things get a little lolly like they are right now in a 12-point or 10-point game now. What do you think? This is something that I've been thinking about, and I'm sure it's coming to other people's mind. If the NBA enforce some kind of rule, you can call it a half technical, give a full technical, whatever it want to be, for clearly, obviously flopping.
Say the end part of that again. I think I got the gist of it. I'm just looking at this. Mike, they're going to review this for Bogey coming in his landing spot, and this is a call that I don't like because they're going to look at offering a flagrant to him. I don't think that's intentional that he was under Chris's landing spot. He's trying to block a shot. Ask the question.
They're rotating off defense right now. I'm a little behind you. Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was just trying to play defense and.
Yeah, but now they're reviewing it. They've stopped the game. There's an official review for a flagrant, I'm assuming, to see if he intentionally landed. He's in the conference finals trying to block a shot. You think that he was like, oh, yeah, not only am I going to block the shot, I'm going to take out, the second or third best player, depending on who you're talking to, for the Bucks? That's not the goal.
And if you're going to try and intentionally hurt someone, it's not going to be in the third quarter.
Well, you wouldn't try and block the shot. You would just run underneath them.
If you were just gonna try and take him out, it wouldn't have been it during a defense. Let's see. I'm getting the replay right now.
Yeah.
Also, Chris Middleton came forward. He took the shot from behind the 3-point line and came down in Bogdanovic's area where he was standing. Yeah, they landed together in the same spot. That was not intentional at all. That almost shouldn't be a foul.
That's the dumbest thing.
Ooh, we're behind on the chat here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I was saying is should the NBA consider enforcing a technical or I was thinking a half technical. You still get 2 technicals, but if you get 4 flop penalties, now you get ejected. Or say you get 2 flop penalties and 1 regular technical, now you're ejected. Or just a full technical. For clearly, they go to the replay and this guy flopped.
I would I don't want that because I don't want that to ruin the game while people are trying to get flopping out of their system. What I would prefer is that there's a flop fine committee that watches every single game and they just hit you for between 15 and 25,000. Every time you flop, every time Chris Paul pretends to get some glancing blow from Boogie Cousins and then dives to the floor like he did last night in that game to try and draw a flagrant on Boogie. I want that to be shown. And I also let's put it on the big screen in Times Square in New York. A flop meme. Let's just shame them for doing this stuff where it's you get hit over here and you're like, ugh!
Yeah.
It's like a slow motion Rambo flick. This is not basketball for you to be doing that. It's not fun for us to watch. And then they have to go over and officiate it and try and act whether it was Cam Payne when he got hit in the nose by Joker a couple weeks ago, falling to the ground like his life was over. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, they're reviewing it. He's like, oh, I'm good. What's up? It's it's not good. Obviously, you get headbutted in the nose like Devin Booker. Take all the time you need in the world. Your nose just got broken in 3 places or whatever Nick Mack was sharing with us last night. So I'd like a committee.
The FFC, the flop fine committee. The FFC won't let me be. Let me be me. Can't you see? Scott wants to see 2 flops in a game and you're ejected with a suspension and fine. That's a little bit extreme. I think my proposal would be pretty hefty and extreme to enforce out the gate. I like your idea. Do the fine thing, and if that doesn't make a difference, now let's start.
Take it one step further. Hang on. Go to the next one.
and 10% negative. 10%'s a lot, Scott.
Yeah, 10%. Are you kidding me?
It doesn't sound like a lot to you and me because we're thinking of 10% of $1, but they're thinking of 10% of $1 million, Scott.
Well, 35 million, a 10% negative.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you're getting $3.5 million. LeBron James would be playing for free by like the second week of the season.
That's what I'm saying. Because right now the guys are flopping, and it's very obvious because it can be used to improve your chances of winning the game.
Yeah, I think if the rule allows for it, then it's smart. You should take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see how it impacts certain players' games. Obviously, Trae, even Steph has done a little bit more of this recently on certain odd shooting motions. For me, I think it might make Steph and Dame a little bit better if they're not trying to look to get the foul and they're just focused on dominating. Then that could make them even more pure at what they're doing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it affects Trae Young and points per game averages and stuff like that. If you're not getting to shoot 11 free throws to 15 free throws a game because you're drawing a bunch of crazy fouls.
Yeah, they wanted to know what our names were. I guess people in the chat didn't know what our names were the entire time. So that's Tony Tucker. Wrong way. It's a mere flip. I pointed the wrong way again. That's Tony Tucker, and I am subscribed. God damn it. If you guys need to address us by name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you.
Which one of y'all? Tony. Tony's the one who says crazy shit that has you questioning his mental capacity. That's
Tottery wants the death penalty for flopping.
I like that, Tottery.
The fine should not be $25K. This should be $2 million. So he's sticking with this 10%. These guys make $20 to $35 million a year, not including endorsements. $25K means nothing to them. I mean, I think still, even when you're mega rich, like, damn, I just lost $25,000. Like, that still exists in your head. But I understand what Scott's saying. Like, you can deal with $25,000 when you're making $35 million a year.
Absolutely, it is, but it's still money. And you're thinking of it as one flop. LeBron James flops 5 to 6 times in a basketball game sometimes.
Yeah.
So he's looking at $150K from one game. He's got to play 82 of those. His flopping is going to clear up real quick if all of a sudden 2 months into the season he's been fined $1 million for flopping. He will change. $1 million is a lot of money to anybody. Like, I mean, obviously, the Sultan of Brunei, he doesn't give a shit. But like, yeah, these guys are millionaires, but they still are trying to hang on to their money. They're not burning $1 million.
Scott wants the death penalty for flopping, but I'm saving you the time to read that whole thing. So don't read
I didn't see this.
Anyway, he wants gladiator sword fights if you flop 3 times. Do you want those to be like aired, or do you want them to be like behind the scenes and we hear about it later? Like it's a post on the ESPN Instagram page, like LeBron James no longer with us, lost his flop sword fight. To who? Everyone's wondering who. And it's like, oh, he lost to Chris Paul. So all the floppers fighting. He lost to James Harden.
I would totally watch that, by the way. If there was just like in tonight on NBA Pugilist.
Jousting by NBA players.
Yeah. 1 week they have to get on horseback like old school knights, just like spearing each other, mid-horse. I want to talk about this because Scott or some of these other NBA fans might be able to help me. Andre Drummond, I believe, is a free agent, and he's going to be looking for a big contract. I don't think he's going to be playing for a vet minimum. He's still young. So it's like, I would not use any money on him. And Jake, I wouldn't sign Dennis Schroeder either. Like if you can't get the guy, don't overpay Schroeder just because you want to keep him. Like he wasn't that good. There was a playoff game where he scored 0 points. 0 points. I'm not giving a guy 85, north of $100 million when he scores 0 points in a playoff game.
That's going to go up a large percentage, Scott, once this movie comes out. I'm telling you.
His net worth is 450. That's not accurate. It's way more.
It's more. He's probably close to $1 billion there.
Yeah.
But after this movie, you can expect another 50 to 100 million being piled on top.
No, Tony says nothing but wrong shit. If he said you need to breathe to live, shit would be wrong as fuck, and I'd grow gills. That's actually pretty funny. That's a pretty well written out diss.
What? The floor should open, dropping them into a pit surrounded by lava while they're jousting. Scott
hates flopping so much.
Speaking of which, my fish was offended by that whip. Being the beta fish, the official Mike on the Mic mascot, he's right over here. He actually always chills during the live streams and watches. He's offended by that gills comment because he has gills. This game opened up again. Every time the Hawks start to crawl back in, the Bucks just focus in and pull ahead again.
Yeah, well, for the Hawks, the thing that'll be interesting for me, whether they go to the finals or not, is how they play next year with expectation. Because we just watched this run, so everybody's going to get together when you do your preseason picks for next year. A lot of people are going to have the Atlanta Hawks, top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference next year. And it'll be interesting to see how they play out the whole season with those kind of expectations. And obviously health factors into everything, like who's out there, Capella staying healthy. I know Capella had some injuries at the beginning of the season that probably did not help the start for the Atlanta Hawks. But Nate McMillan's done a far better job. The defense is so improved. I watched a couple of Hawks games early on in the season. I was just like, it was just a score fest. There's people running up and down, putting up buckets. That's the Forbes estimate.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. Schroeder waived the offer way before the end of the season. Yeah. He did. It is interesting, and I put it in the chat last night, or was it the night before? One of the last couple of live streamed games that we did, that out of the 4 teams left, I don't think that any of them will open up as favorites to even reach the NBA Finals again next year with a fully healthy league. All 4 of these teams, Suns, Clippers, Bucks, and Hawks, none of those 4 teams would be favorites to go next year from either conference.
You know what? I think that's actually I could see the Bucks. The media loves the Bucks and they love Giannis. So I could definitely see them. There's always
I think we're going to see Nets, and I think that someone's going to Miami, and Miami is going to be good again. Someone. I don't know who it's going to be. One of these guys are going to Miami.
Yeah, that'll be interesting too. If Dame ends up on the right
spot, Kawhi Leonard
jumping, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Clippers and whether or not those guys are back together. The Nets obviously being healthy next year to start the season.
Yeah, how long can they stay healthy?
Yeah, that's all. It's a question.
That was a good defensive play.
I have a question. Whip, what's the question? What's the question?
I'm telling you right now, I'm proofreading your question, so don't say it. Don't ask any dumb question. If it's dumb, it's not getting put up. Whip. You see that play by Herter? I mean, obviously you saw it ahead of me, but came hustling down the court and poked it out of Portis's hands right as he was about to get an easy layup.
Yeah, but now Portis is flexing on the crowd, getting all crazy. Flash Johnson.
Flanderson.
Thank you.
Here's a different question, not from Whip, but from Jake the Snake. Do y'all also talk football? Yes, sir.
Can't wait
Jake
for football
the Snake. Season. I cannot wait either. You got to check out our channel, Jake. We talk all sports. All sports, I'm telling you. We're talked a UFC even. We got a UFC show that aired today. But you got to check out the channel. We have 6 weekly shows, and we have 3+ live streams per week. And during these NBA playoffs, it seems like we're live every night. How about a new question? You never asked the first question.
Oh, he was.
He's about to be right there with State Farm, Bill.
You preemptively struck him down. He was like, "Well, I can't ask him that question because that'll be horrible. They won't let that go on there." Yeah, Jake, do you have? Where you at? You putting out content anywhere?
Oh yeah, Jake. See, I knew it.
This is why.
Damian Lillard, if he moves, will change everything depending on where he goes. If he stays, they will try to get more players. Yes, I think that the Damian Lillard shift is probably the biggest potential shift this offseason, wherever he ends up. And Kawhi Leonard obviously has his own impact if he ends up leaving. Randy Pepperton says this channel is legit. Randy Pepperton does nothing but roast us and thinks that we're legit. So that's something right there.
I really would like to. I want Dame out of Portland because I don't think that team's a winner. I'm not sure where the most exciting place for him to be. Like, is it Miami? Like, I don't think New York's quite ready, but it is in the East. Like, it'd be interesting to see the team they put around him. It'd also be interesting to see him play on a team that focuses on defense and has a team that's committed to the defensive side, so the games are close, and then we can really see Dame time.
Yeah. New York would be a place that'd be a destination for him too. Potentially.
Say that again. Which one?
New York would be a fun place to see him go. Is there any potential that the 76ers can somehow work a deal to get Dame time in Philly?
It's like Ben Simmons, like how much did his trade value go down in this last playoff run? That's the question that I would need to know. Like what's involved in that move for them? Like Ben Simmons for Dame straight up. I don't know if I would make that trade if I'm Portland. But then if Dame came to me privately and said, "Hey, I'm walking no matter what," then I'm going to at least listen to that trade.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much crap as we give Ben Simmons, he's still productive. He's just not the guy you want in the fourth quarter. But he plays great defense. Yeah, but he plays great defense, and he can put up buckets, and he can help you get wins in the regular season and stuff. It'd be a little tough for me to ever give him another like max contract.
Tony, do you use Hotmail?
Do I use Hotmail? No.
Okay.
That's a reference to my age, I'm assuming. It's like super old, like AOL or something.
Randy Pepperton, Notched is gonna get his question asked by Randy Pepperton here. Notched is asking if Tony's mom knows that you are lighthearted and carefree. Does she know that?
I have no idea. I don't know where this is going.
I think the answer is yes, Notch. So you can stop asking the question. We'll put this on for you, Whip. Give you your moment. Give you your spotlight. Miami wouldn't be for him. I think if Dame Lillard went to the Sixers. Oh, Scott, you think that he's going to the Sixers if he gets out of Portland? That's an interesting landing spot for him because him and Joel Embiid together, if Embiid could stay healthy, would tear shit up. Quite literally. It would do amazing together.
And I like the Dame played well with CJ McCollum. Not well enough, obviously, to get to the finals and actually win something, but Tobias Harris is very similar. And if you can keep Seth Curry in the mix there, he adds another weapon, another shooter. I would like that team to win in the East because we've seen some of the biggest problems with the Sixers. It's just that when it comes down to the fourth quarter, like who's closing, who's taking shots, and when Ben Simmons is passing up open dunks, then he's not the guy.
Exactly.
But then you gotta overcome Doc Rivers. That's the mountain to climb.
I mean, if Sixers fans want to be happy about something, Doc Rivers was only good, and his entire career has been built off of having a super team with that Boston Big Three. And if Dame went to the 76ers, him and Embiid would be something else together. I think that would, with how injury-prone, speaking of injury-prone Nets, Tony, remember when you hurt your ankle like Kyrie?
Shit, that hurt.
Toronto, here we go with this again. But with Nets being so injury prone, if Dame went to Philly, I may go ahead and say if they can somehow hold on to their pieces too, like hold on to Seth Curry and all of them, I'd probably take them in the East next year. What happened to Kemba Walker? Kemba Walker got traded and I think is probably going to get traded again, right? Or are they just going to hold his contract and let him play on?
I'm never sure what the plan is for the Thunder.
Yeah.
Just amass draft picks and try and recreate the couple of years where they drafted KD, Westbrook, and Harden in Ibaka, like all within a 2-year period. Maybe try and duplicate that magic in some way by collecting enough draft picks. But Kemba Walker overall is just like his thing is the health. Like he's still a good player, but he can't be getting the kind of money that he's getting. And he always seems to be getting banged up or injured or never in the right place. I mean, Brad Stevens was GM for 48 hours. Like he didn't even sit down in his chair and he was like, Kemba, you're gone.
Yeah.
Like that's quick.
He had those thoughts during the season or postseason. There you go. End of the third quarter. We'll see what happens. Threw it out of bounds. Looking like Chris Middleton might lead his Bucks here. There you go. He's passing on him coaching anyone.
Yeah. I don't know, Doc. It would have been interesting if one time he would have just let Maxey play in one of those fourth quarters, or left Maxey and George Hill out there together, or some combination of. I can't think of the other guy's name right now.
Were you involved in the Boomer War? I don't think you're that old.
I don't know what that is.
Doc Rivers was exposed as the bad coach. An easy 42. Damn. They're coming after you, Tony.
42. That's okay. I mean,
PG just can't take a break. Get a break. Oh, such a good point guard, but just can't get a break. Yeah, Kemba.
Yeah, Scott, you mean with the health, right?
Yeah.
Because he was on a pretty nice team. They should have been able to make a little bit of noise, but he just couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't stay out. They never established any sort of chemistry.
Here's my question. They're all asking Tony this, Tony that, Tony. Why don't you want to ask subscribe, goddammit, any questions? Come on. Someone needs to ask subscribe, goddammit, some questions.
They're trying. I feel like they're trying to rattle. They're trying to get me to like have some display.
If they came from TikTok, they know that I don't play already.
Hell yeah.
My name is too long. That's just my name, dude. I can't control that. Let's see what Scott said. Doc Rivers needs to spend time talking with retired coaches and learn how to actually read the new system of playing. Tyronn Lue is successful because he was a more recent player. He's saying that Tyronn Lue basically kind of understands the style of play nowadays a little bit more than Doc Rivers does.
Yeah.
Yeah, go search Mike on the Mike Sports on TikTok and look for a video that has 15 views. Good luck with that.
But doesn't it just feel, Scott, doesn't it feel a little bit like that Doc is just stubborn? Like a little bit like it's sort of like he knows what's going to work and what's successful. And then when it doesn't work, he just stays that way. Like maybe that does speak to like an older mindset, a little rigidity, no willingness to adjust or change or whatever. Like he has the answer, even when it keeps coming back that he's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And no willing to change. Because it's not like Doc's not connected to the younger generation. Like he's got a kid in the league, like he's not completely out of touch. It's not like Greg Popovich looks like, to me, like sometimes like I'm like, oh, this guy looks out of touch, but he just keeps winning. He just keeps putting out competitive teams. Although that's kind of come to a halt. They were still more competitive this year than I thought they would be. Yeah, the other thing too is like it's going to be interesting to see guys like Chauncey Billups and what he can do and what he's got. Attaboy Christopher.
I liked the guy the Celtics hired. I still can't like get his name down. You got his name down yet?
Is it Ime Udoka or
That's
something?
it. No, that's pretty. I think that's it. Good job.
Ime Udoka.
Nick Max already got it down. He said it like 5 times during his show like that, and I was like, "Damn, dude, did you like just practice that?"
I didn't. I was supposed to look it up last night. I was supposed to look up a few things. Where the Clippers got their name from, didn't. His name. There was another thing I was supposed to look up. Brent, speaking of Popovich.
Let's talk about this. Okay, asked, would you fire Steve Nash? I'll change your question up, Felke, because I don't think we'd fire Steve Nash today. But how long is Steve Nash's leash, knowing how probably small the Nets championship window is?
See, that's the part that's interesting because he's not really going to have to be a guy that does player development. Like any you know why I'm cheering.
It was Middleton, huh?
You know why I'm cheering.
You got 21.
My guy's heating up. He doesn't have to do any player development, right? Like we don't know what kind of coach he is. He's there to manage egos. He's there to make sure that like they keep the peace between 3 elite basketball players and try to shepherd them just like what Steve Kerr was for the Golden State Warriors. All of the development, all of the leaps and strides that Clay and Draymond and Steph took were with Mark Jackson. And Steve Kerr came in and got that ship, over the end line. So now we're getting to see Steve Kerr sort of work with guys like James Wiseman. We're getting to see him, work with some of these younger players. Who was the kid who stood out a little bit? Jordan Poole at the end of the year. Wiggins he's got a couple of years under his belt. But as soon as he gets Wiseman, I saw a report the other day that the Warriors are interested in shopping Wiseman, the 7th overall pick, and something else to get another star to come to Oakland. It's like, oh, well, that was short-lived.
NFL teams, Jake. I'm a Chargers fan. Tony Tucker is a free agent who is being convinced to be a Chargers fan. So we're both Chargers fans in the future, at least. For Kemba, it's definitely health, but also contract, yes. When you get that big max contract, you got to play at a big max level. Otherwise, you're really in a bad situation where you're just getting offloaded on the terrible teams who have the cap space to hold on to you until they can figure out another way to get you out of there. Let's see. He is stubborn. That's why he needs to talk with other ex-coaches. He agrees with you on Doc Rivers. I'm getting caught up here. Didn't people say Brad Stevens was a good coach a few years ago? Yes, they did when the Celtics were hot. But you got to continue success. If you don't continue success, we're going to come for you, and everyone's going to come for you. That's just how that works in professional sports and in the world in general. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, look at Randy Pepperton's got you. Clippers got the name from sailboats in San Diego. Joe answered that yesterday. Okay, Randy.
Wait, so when I said that, Scott laughed at me for saying that Clippers were named after some sort of a ship in San Diego. And everybody was like, "What is he? He's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about." Fuck. Somebody said it was like named after barbers. I'm like, that they didn't get their name after barbers.
They're originally in San Diego. I don't know how a barber would have anything to do with it. San Diego doesn't have like a world famous barber corporation or anything. Milton keeps proving me wrong. Felke, yes, he does. Same thing with the Clippers.
Well, everybody can just watch Chris Middleton go and have 4 amazing games in the NBA Finals and steal the Finals MVP. If
you're a new subscriber, we will chant your name. If you guys subscribe to the Warzone Sports Network, we're 13 subs away from 900, which is a huge step, and it will put us at 90% of the way to 1,000.
Appreciate it. Appreciate almost all of you. You know who I don't.
And then my name is Subscribe, so he's talking about me finally. Thank goodness. Subscribe got a good-ass mic. I can smell him through my speakers. Musty-ass TikToker. Yeah. I mean, none of that was a lie. Jake the Snake. I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. Die hard. Bleed black and blue. I got something for you, Jake. 1 second. It's like within reach. I got to just stand up. Look what that is. One of my favorite players. It's so unfortunate that his career is ending right before our very eyes. But I'll always remember this 2015 form of Cam. I was rooting for him so heavily against the Broncos in that Super Bowl.
I think he's going to have one good year. I think he's going to at least have one good final stretch run. He's going to put together a 10, 11 game stretch for the Patriots. Going to have buzz.
I don't think so. Tony, I don't think so.
It's going to happen.
I've been keeping up with that. I like watching camp battles. I've been keeping up with the beat writers and everything for the Patriots a little bit more than normal recently, just because I don't want to miss the Cam Newton take again. Last year, I thought he was going to be good. That was one of my biggest misses of the year because I was calling for like 25 touchdowns or something, that obviously he was nowhere near. But the beat writers and everything for the Patriots are saying that Mac Jones is probably going to have that job before midseason. Just based off what's going on in camp, Cam doesn't look good. His arm is out of juice. That's what happens when you throw so hard and then you have like a major shoulder injury. Like you can never get back to that again.
Yeah, isn't that a weird projection though? Oh, he'll have the game by but you don't know what the game is going to look like. Like, what if it's just a lot of running and dinks and dunks and?
Yeah, from what I'm reading, right? I'm just purely reading. I'm not there. Yeah. I'm not actually there, right? From what I'm reading, it looks like the only concern with Mac Jones being a starter is him learning the playbook, which he's a smart guy, so they're expecting him to learn the playbook sooner rather than later. And if Cam Newton is not lighting it up on the field, then Mac Jones is probably going to be coming in his rookie year to play. Whip. Woo! Next, Middleton is the playoff GOAT.
Yeah, no, I saw this comment, and Jake, I appreciate that. He's crushing it out there.
Yep, that year, 2015, Cam Newton's one of my favorite players ever. I love it when players are like hated on. I don't know why that attracts me towards players. Like Richard Sherman. I was the biggest Richard Sherman fan as like a teenager, and people get so upset when I would be defending Richard Sherman. I actually got that jersey for like less than $20 at the thrift store with. So pretty much the same thing as a vending machine. Jake the Snake. The Patriots are loaded. Cam loves his tight ends. Yep. If he can get the ball to him, they should be okay because they have set up the team for his success. They can be a ground and pound team that relies on short little pop passes and stuff like that to shifty receivers that can take plays a long ways and the tight ends in the red zone. So they are building an offense around him that can be successful. My question is, last year Cam Newton could not get the ball downfield.
That was my question. My thoughts to you, Mike, was that how can you project what's going to happen? And they're saying he can't throw the ball anymore. Like, the Patriots have never really been an air it out offense anyways. Like, it was always checking down to running backs and hitting, like option routes to Edelman in the flat or whatever it was, maybe a seam route 20 yards downfield, but it wasn't like, other than Randy Moss here, 18 months, however long Moss was there, that they were really airing it out. So this idea that Cam can't do what's in the Patriots style of the last 20 years, I don't see that. And I think the defense will be good, and they're going to play behind us like a bunch of running backs they got. So one of those guys has to be able to run the ball. Offense, run it, let Cam do what he does with his mobility. I can see the body falling apart, though.
Yeah, he's got to be in better shape. He's got to be in better shape. At the end of games last year, we saw a lot. How did they not call that out of bounds? That ball bounced over the backboard. But in games last year, the Patriots were actually in the wild card picture. And there was 2 or 3 games where they needed a 2-minute drive, and Cam just couldn't do it. Obviously, they failed at the 1-yard line against Seattle. That's going to be kind of a famous one of their season. That's where it started to turn into not a wild card picture team. But at around week 10 to 12, they were actually in the wild card hunt, and that little stretch was really bad for Cam. So I guess maybe I saw that, and that's kind of just stamped in my mind like, oh man, my dream of Cam getting back is something I need to stop holding on to. But I've seen him also like still look okay running the ball.
Hey, Whip, you realize there's a whole internet that you could just go and enjoy, right?
There are like 5 other live streams. I'm pretty sure the Dime Dropper, if you want some specific names, 2 Minute Pod, they're pretty good. If you want to go troll them, let's see. There's probably some on my screen right now for you. Not that I don't like you, Notched. I want you to stay, obviously. I'm just giving you some suggestions if you did leave. I got nothing else. I was only going to look for a couple seconds anyways. Your head is gravitating him. All right.
Yeah, he keeps making comments like mashed potato head, or I forget what he said. What did he say? Tony's like his mashed potatoes loaded. What did he?
Yeah.
What is it?
You like cheese in your mashed potatoes.
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Oh, how old do you think Notch Whip is?
I don't know. I don't know.
But my guess is 13.
When his mom takes away his internet, like it's going to be a rough day. He's not going to be able to get on here and say all this stuff, whatever it is. Like, I hope mom takes care of him though. You know, keeps him up to date with all the new toys and trinkets and wonderful things that 15-year-olds get to enjoy.
I wish we could blow this like comment up. Haters wanted for the Warzone Sports Network because the old ones are starting to love us. You're right. Notch Whip, turn on your notifications, buddy. Oh, he flipped my prediction around. He's 12, but he flipped it around, made it 21.
21.
Go Bucks for the win. Cecilia's back. Hello,
What
Cecilia.
kind of 21-year-old is sitting home on
Shout
a
out.
summer night hanging out with?
Shout out from Singapore. Cecilia, if we ever get big enough, we are going to come to Singapore on vacation, but while we're there, at least me, Tony, and Joe are going to have like a little panel live show from Singapore on the beach.
And I don't have my Filipino interpreter with me tonight. She's working.
Oh, yeah. Here you go. We'll say prime Clay, not injured Clay. Would you start a team with Clay or Donovan Mitchell?
Oh, that's tough.
It's close, huh?
Yeah, because I'm one of the people that thinks like Clay could have been a star anywhere else. Like if he didn't, like he's a star because he's winning championships and breaking records and hitting threes. But I'm talking about like being a guy who scores 30 points a night and still first team all defense somewhere else. Like if he played on another team, he obviously wouldn't have won as much. But that's really close. I don't know. I'm going to say Donovan Mitchell. I'm going to go with Donovan Mitchell. I really like Donovan too. I like Donovan's offense. Although the defense Clay plays, okay, I just changed my own mind. I'm going with Klay Thompson because I like his defense.
Cecilia said, thank you. Yeah, when we can afford to come to Singapore and do a live show, we're going to do it. And we're going to go zip lining. There's this like mountain on an island in Singapore. I think it's called Sentosa Island. Cecilia, correct me if I'm wrong. Sentosa Island. You can hike up this mountain and zip line down to the beach. Like leave your stuff on the beach, hike up the mountain, zip line back down to your stuff. Pretty cool.
It's testing.
What? Nosh Whip is Mac Daddy? It better not be. Because I put him on freaking timeout because he won't leave Phil K alone. It's timeout, Phil K. He said that he is with his boys just trolling us. So if he's just going to attack you the whole time, we'll put him on timeout, see when he comes back, if he has the same energy, and make a decision. I assume he's staying in the stream and is probably just laughing his ass off.
I honestly don't think that's Mac.
No, there's no way.
I don't think it's Mac.
He wouldn't say stuff like that.
Oh, that's not why I thought it was him. I think Mac would have found ways to work in more personal things that he knows would have fired me up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he would have found ways to work in one of the hot topics that I've been barking about a lot lately. And he would have tried to bait me a little bit more. Why would you give this douchebag the ammo to this fucking 14-year-old kid wherever he is? He's going to come back in from timeout, and now he's going to be firing for sure.
We've woken a monster. No, he said he's 21.
He's not 20.
He's 21 on timeout. How do you feel right now, Whip?
At 21 years old, if this is your life during summer, this is what you're doing, reevaluate. Like 21 should be the prime of your life. Like get out of the house and go have some fun. Dust the crumbs off of your, ill-shaven face and get out and enjoy your life. You're 21 years old, for crying out loud.
Although I'm pretty close to 21 years old, and here I am in my house, Tony.
Yeah, but you're married. You have a dog. You've served for our great country. You've enjoyed life. I'm talking about being 21. Being 21 is like the greatest thing ever. I also lived in a giant city and was running around and having a blast.
Scott, you got to have more faith in us. It may take a couple months or years, but we'll get there to where we can go to Singapore for a live show and then come back.
I got to go to the Philippines first. My wife's family would.
They're pretty close, Tony. You could do
absolutely destroy me if they found out we went to Singapore before we made it to the Philippines.
They're super close.
All right, then I'm in.
The ticket would be roughly the same price. So,
Scott? Are you from Singapore too?
I'm not sure.
I can't quite tell. I'm trying to look.
I don't remember if he's from Singapore or not. I think he told us where he's from one time.
Well, he said he lived in like the East Coast. I remember that. He's told a lot of stories about what it was like to live in Philly. What did the last message say? I didn't see it. I don't know. I don't know what it said. We got. I thought I saw Joe. Oh, I did. What's going on with that? I wonder.
I don't know. I don't think he's joining. I think he just wanted to get in the background.
Oh.
Yeah, this game is officially over. So we could talk about anything and everything, Phil K, that you want to talk about.
Yeah, 5 minutes left. Maybe one more barrage, but probably not. 24, 12, and 6. Pretty good. What's the shooting percentage? I didn't see it. What was Middleton's shooting percentage?
I haven't not seen it. Maybe I can get it pulled up.
I just wondered. That will help me decide whether or not I think this was a good game or not.
I saw 9 of 17 when they popped up on the screen earlier. He's 10 of 19 with 24 points, but 12 rebounds.
Well, it's above 50% for a shooter, which is good. That's what I want. I want my shooters to be shooting above 50%. Yeah, but this is the kind of game that the Bucks will need from Jrue Holiday for sure. 25 and 12. I'm trying to think of the last time that I saw Jrue Holiday have a game like this.
Can Trae carry this team? Trae's got to get back in there, and he has to carry this team. It's that simple. I don't know what the Hawks are going to be able to do without Trae Young in Game 6. I think this might be over in 6.
Well, also too, like if you're the Hawks, why not let these guys try and run it back on another comeback? Give a couple more days of rehab to Trae, feed off of your home crowd in an elimination Game 6 with a slightly healthier Trae, hopefully, and try and force a Game 7. Like that, it's kind of what my plan would be. Rather than putting him out here, maybe he injures it, makes it worse. He's done for the year. Isn't quite fully there. Ends up, hurting an ACL or something like that. And it's a longer term damage. Now he misses the beginning of next year.
A Klay Thompson situation.
Yeah, like there's no need This wasn't like a do or die game. Obviously, the Hawks would have loved to have won it, but you're playing the higher seeded team at home. Why not give Trae an extra 48 hours? I would if I was the coach. If he was having trouble.
His mom is from the Philippines.
Yep.
There you go. I've been to Subic, Scott. That's it, though. I didn't get to go to any other big cities.
Oh, it was in the military.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at Far East.
So we're seeing they got one more little run. They just need to get a couple more stops. Oh, and the Giannis fill-in.
Do you think Paul George will get a ring?
Bobby Eyes.
The Stars got a line for him. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it as a number one, but Paul George is still a very good number two option.
Well, last night in the chat, there was a bunch of people in here like saying that Paul George needs to be a 1A, that he's better as that one. I think it would have been a different story if Kawhi would have been healthy.
Yeah.
For the Clippers. So I'd like to see the Clippers run it back if I'm just talking about basketball, but I would also like to see the Clippers completely disband and go back to the days of being complete garbage. Like as a Lakers fan, that's what I would like to see.
I'm with you on that.
So either that or who gave him the name? Who gave him the name? The North Dakota Grazers? What was the name they gave him last night? That was really funny. I think it was Cortland or something.
Yeah. I forget what the name was.
I got to reach out to him and see. Because that shit was funny.
Portis just hit a 3. This game's over.
Yeah. He filled in pretty nicely from
Yeah.
everything I saw. And that's the kind some of the plays he made tonight, like if you go back or you see the highlights of this game, like he's diving, fighting for balls. He has that kind of energy. PJ Tucker has that kind of energy where it's like, and especially PJ Tucker, like 36, like he doesn't know how many more shots he's going to get. You know, this is the closest he's been to the NBA Finals since the year Chris Paul hurt his hamstring or whatever. With the Rockets. What'd I miss?
Notch Whip created a whole new YouTube account to come back. Now I kind of like him for the effort that he's put into his troll job. Dude, it was a 5-minute like calm down, let us like see the other chat members also. And he went and made a whole new YouTube channel.
Oh my! He just stole his sister's Gmail account and was like, "I need to make a YouTube channel. I need to troll these people enjoying themselves because
Bucks
I'm
are the
trapped
type
in here."
of team, whether or where it's either blowout or they lose terribly. It's never an even game. Yeah, that's been a trend, especially in this series. Oh, she's from Manila. Yeah, that was where everyone told me that I needed to go if I was going to see, like, really what it's like living and being in the Philippines. He said that he hated it, though.
Well, shit, I've not seen a lot of it that I love, like from my wife's family, you know?
There's like
It's
Manila either?
I look at, like, where they're living and everything. Like, I remember one time she's like, "Oh, this is because her mom's from, like, a small village." And I was like, "What is that?" She's like, "It's the bathroom." I'm like, "That motherfucker's outside. I'm not going there." And she's like, "Oh yeah, this is their," and I was like, "I don't want to go there. I want to go to the city. I want to be this. It's like camping for a week, but I don't know. It's crowded." They all told me too, like the family members were like, "Only bring stuff you're willing to give away because they're all going to ask you for your shirts, your clothes." And I was just like, "Okay, these are good tips."
So he's got some French in him. Scott. He's a do-it-all kind of guy.
Okay. Scott told a good story last night, and I'm gonna mess it up, Scott. But he was talking about how he had a chance and he shot the game winner, but he had 2 cutters going to the basket. Like he had a chance, his team had a chance to win the game, but instead of hitting and getting the easy deuce, he pulled up, shot a 3 and missed. I want to know how you feel about that.
Damn,
Like,
Tony.
are you happy you did it or not? Are you happy you took the shot, or do you wish that you would have hit the cutter? One of the cutters.
What are you thinking?
Told you, one last barrage. They got it into 11.
Tony, subscribe doesn't have a jaw or hairline. Said, my man Tony is sexy as it gets.
This dude's all over the place. I'm good. If he wants to come on, here's the thing. We need watch hours. We need views. We need all of these things. We need to continue to stack up time, algorithms. This channel will pick up, get even more activity, impact, fun, all the things that are going to continue to happen on this channel. In Eastern Conference Finals,
Paul George will get a ring when he can focus, if he can ever focus. That man has something going on that nobody knows about. It's hindering his performance. Yeah, he's come out about his like mental state before. That's a touchy topic when you're talking about that kind of stuff. I don't know like how ongoing that situation is with him.
So I think Paul George is a great player, right? Not the greatest, not whatever, but he's a great player who does not deal well with scrutiny. Like, I think he would just be better off in a place like Portland where people could just sort of write him off, and there isn't expectations for titles or championships or whatever it is.
And the fans just cheer him when he's good, and then when he's bad, they're just like whatever. And they still cheer him next time he's good.
He's our guy, no matter what. There's a lot of loyalty to be had out there when you go to like the Midwest and stuff like that, even from the writers on down, especially when it's in like a smaller town and you might run into the person at the same place. I like to see the fight at the end of the game from the Hawks out here, even though it's like 10, 12 point difference.
They're still trying to get back in the game. Not giving up. Well, didn't they almost blow a lead like this against Philly in the last series, where it was like 10 points with a minute left and they almost blew it?
Yeah, game 1 they won, but at one point they were up by like almost 30, and it got real close.
Felke said 2 for 6 with Chris. I mean, that's 33%.
He's talking about his 3.
That's what I'm thinking too. His 3, that's 33%. Like,
yeah, it's below his average, which is like 41%. So yeah, you're right. It's bad.
If he takes one more shot, he's gonna go above his average if he hits it.
It's a minute and 30 seconds. He's not got any more threes in him. I'm very happy with the performance.
I relate with this, Scott. I'm 5'10", and I felt like I was Godzilla in Japan. Tokyo, like you're walking through the train station and everyone's like packed in there like a bunch of sardines, but like I'm just like over everyone, and I'm not tall. Imagine being a tall person.
Oh yeah, whenever we go to family gatherings, I always feel just like a giant. Because I'll be in a room with like 65 Filipinos, and I'm the biggest, tallest person as far as the eye can see. And Phil, why are you coming at me with this Chris Middleton nonsense?
Yeah, they need to save themselves. I agree with okay here. At this point, a minute left. Down by 10, it's not completely impossible if you foul the right people and they miss free throws. We'll see what Brook Lopez does. And
yeah, what if Kevin Huerter pulls a Reggie Miller?
Historic.
Yeah, and then just turns over. Billy Crystal was at the Clippers game last night. I blame it on him. My brother-in-law, as we were talking about the Paul George stuff, the message and the phone calls that I got from him after the Clippers lost were it was horrible. The shit that he was saying.
Is he not? He's not happy with Paul George. I'm assuming
he's not happy with Paul George. He wants him gone. He said the one thing that he highlighted was that Paul George is actually raised his trade value, and that's something that he really likes. Right?
That's what I was about to say. Is that They created another YouTube. Maybe they're changing their original YouTube name.
Oh, whatever it is.
So that's good.
For him.
He's
That's
changing it
hilarious.
up. They get it funny. Dude, respect for the troll job.
Okay, so my
much more attention.
my physical appearance, my sexuality, my heart health.
He got my hair. He got my hairline.
Yeah, I have all my hair. I got a full afro going on.
This is just the way my hair has always been. I have a big forehead because my mom and dad both have big ass foreheads. Also,
I'll never gave me a straight answer, Claire Down. Yeah, I did. I said I would take Clay because of the defense. I hummed and hawed. You're right. Go back up there. What was that? Because we got
Scott's right here. The reason I told that story was because I know what it's like to take responsibility. I apologize to the entire team over and over again. Oh, these came in out of order, I think. This was supposed to be first. But a year or two later, one of them said, "Bro, you were our ringer. We expect you to take the last shot." Oh, he's talking about when he played. We just cut because that's what you taught us.
Yeah. But Scott, what I want to know was like the regret on whether or not you taking the shot or trying to hit the cutter for the easy basket. Like, I want to know if you regret not trying to get the easier one.
Oh, my God.
Making the smart move, even know that you were supposed to be. And okay, I did answer the question. I just hummed it out.
Look. RGAC13, go Bucks, Twitch viewer, please follow us. If you follow us, we'll chant your name. It'll probably just chant that number because RGAC might not sound too good in a chant. And I know 4 burner accounts are in the chat just waiting for us to chant RGAC out loud. Let's see. Scott. Wow, there's only a 10-point difference. Yeah. It seems like it was more of a blowout than this. Now it's coming down the free throws. As long as the Bucks don't completely choke, this game should be over.
I will say, like, this, the notched whip, why that name? Why did you pick this name for your YouTube channel? You clearly have some sort of graphic, either that or it's like a close-up of a butthole. I can't tell what your little icon is supposed to be there, but like, this almost made me want to root against the Bucks for games 6 and 7.
Twitch accounts are coming in. We have 4 viewers on Twitch. Woo! Get the Twitch up.
Oh, this one right here. He's saying I'm FLK.
Oh.
On Twitch.
Oh yeah, Felk's Twitch account. Nice, thanks, Felk.
Even though Felk makes fun of me, but he's still one of my favorites.
Look at Felk. He said, "Go ahead."
What is it?
LeBronto. He's putting LeBronto now.
I don't get that. Is this supposed to be LeBron to Toronto?
LeBronto, as in like he used to own Toronto. That's what Whip keeps putting in all the chats, which he's unbanned. But
LeBron, what does he call like the Bucks? He dominated the entire East.
Yeah.
Anybody got into his way. It's not like he just picked on Toronto. He
picked
on the Eastern Conference.
East
for a decade. 1 win away.
Dodger Joey saying Twitch. Twitch is where it's at. Trying to get some more Madden content. If Madden 22 comes out and I do decide to buy it, I'll probably be back on Madden again.
Slow talker? I have gotten that I'm a slow talker. That's fine. I can deal with it. Whatever. Whipped, Notch, Tony is fat, whoever is in there. Don't give a shit. But keep coming back. Keep the views up. Keep it going. Next time we'll just...
No, the views are way up right now because of this. I mean, we got like 5 extra viewers technically on the stat sheet.
No, we got way more than that, and the watch time. Anyways,
you're saying extras.
Let me ask you a question. Scott, I don't know if Scott said bye. Anybody in here who really wants to talk basketball? Felk, leave Notched Whip alone. He's got to go. Yeah, home. The lights are out. He's 21.
The game's over anyways. 123-112 final. Bucks win.
If you're
not quite the 156, that Felke was calling for, but 123. It's a high-scoring game. 112.
So just like I said that my plan would have been to rest Trae Young, give him an extra day, extra 48 hours for the home game. Would you think about resting Giannis for that game? Like, would you think about resting Giannis for the road game and seeing, like, you have two guys that you're paying a lot of money to, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, and you still have a home game in your back pocket. Would you play around with the idea of saying, here's an extra 48 hours, big guy, heal up, take 6 days off essentially, or 5 days off, or whatever it is, and then be ready in case there's a game 6? Because if they win that, then the NBA Finals is starting in in a couple days. I think you muted your mic. Mike.
My bad. I'm a fan of trying to. Oh, that's the stream. I was like, what's going on here? No, I'm a fan of trying to put it away if you get a chance in game 6. But I feel like Giannis would need to be 80 to 90% at least for me to even consider it. He would need to come to me as a coach or as the manager or whoever he's got to go to and get cleared to play and say, I am almost completely fine, and I'm just going to come in and dominate the first 3 quarters and get us a lead, and then we'll cruise out from there. But if he's even hobbled at all, I agree with you. The risk isn't worth it when it's not an elimination game for you. Now for Trae Young, he's got to get in there.
Yeah, I would definitely. Trae's got to play, and I would say I would just sit Giannis. Oh shit, Whip! I see why you're not out and about. It's scary in Milwaukee, buddy. Stay indoors. It's dark outside. Bunch of crazy people running around with their shirts off. You don't want any of that. Stay inside, Whip. Mom will appreciate it.
Giannis needs to sit game 6.
Yeah, I think I would just sit him game. I don't even think I would I wouldn't test it.
Not even try it.
To me, there's not enough of an upside because the goal is that you want to get there. And you also have 2 other max players and you have veterans. You have Lopez, you have PJ Tucker. Portis has played nice. Covington can come off and give you some energy minutes on the bench. So if I'm the Bucks, I'm trying to hold them out and say, I think we can get this win without you. And then you can have that much more rest when we get to the NBA Finals. And if not, we'll go to a game 7. But I would just keep them out.
Yeah. Either way, I don't think they can go wrong. And either way, I'm still probably taking the Bucks to win. The Hawks would need Trae Young to come back at full strength and be on fire to win this series. The Bucks' big win tonight. Big performance from Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton and Portis. All 3 of those guys came out and balled, at least to their best ability, and got the W.
Awesome. I missed a comment up here from Scott, but yes, thank you for answering that question.
Oh, here it is.
It's a satisfying answer.
He said, I have 0 regrets taking the shot because if I passed and they missed, I would regret not taking the shot. No regrets. No regrets.
Yeah, that's a good answer. So I'm done with this dipshit. All right. Anything else? Mike, you got anything else?
I mean, we covered everything as far as the game, as far as what's going on in the network. My light is just falling, so I'm about to go dark here in a minute. But we're just gonna do that. Anyways, as far as everything else going on the channel, tomorrow we're gonna have the Pace League show 2nd episode dropping on Friday. The aim is Thursdays, but there may be some Friday releases for that show, just depending on how the week goes and what other content we have. We also have Friday Night Wars live for the 2nd straight week tomorrow. Joe Morley's making his return to the show, so that will be fun. Tony Tucker, I have not checked the votes to see if you're winning anytime recently. I don't know if you've checked them, but we'll find that out tomorrow, I guess, when we do check it right before we start recording. What else is going on tomorrow? Is there a game tomorrow? No, there's not a game tomorrow.
No game tomorrow.
No game tomorrow?
Yeah, game 6 Saturday.
I don't think there's really anything planned to drop early in the morning, so I think that's about it. Friday Night Wars and the Pace League show both dropping tomorrow. Friday Night Wars will be live. Fel K and anyone else in the chat that wants to come and tune in, turn on notifications so that way you guys can be there for it. Live premiere for the Pace League show. I think that's about all of it. Make sure you guys are subscribing. If you're on Twitch, drop a follow for us. We're on the road to getting some more followers over there on Twitch. We had some good viewership from Twitch this stream today. Anything else, Tony? Any final goodbyes, closing statements?
No, Felke, Scott, appreciate you guys. Always like talking hoops with you. Tottery was fun too. Good stuff.
All right.
No, I'm ready.
I just spent like that entire time of me talking, the entire time of you talking, the entire time of reading any last comments in the chats, trying to think of a good end to the live stream. You know, we usually have something, and then it just cuts us off. I was trying to think of something really good to do.
Warning, warning, warning.
Get ready to rumble. Step into the war zone.